Welcome to the Economic Development and Energy Committee. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Legislator Birmingham.
Here.
Legislator Elner.
Here.
Chairman Goldman.
President, thank you. Okay, we're starting the process off with the 2026 budget review of economic development. First item is on page 51, dues. We have Bill and whoever else come up.
Sure. These are your standard dues for organizations that have been funded in the past.
Why are you requesting less money each year?
The decision is going to be made that nobody's using NACO. So the NACO was pulled out. The rest are being funded. The Patterns for Progress, the County Execs Association, they're still being funded. Oh, sorry.
Any questions from the committee on dues? Any questions from the legislature?
What are the organizations that are being funded in this?
They'll be funding the NISAC County Executives Association, Patterns for Progress, Hudson Valley Association. I'd have to look up all of them.
American Legislative Exchange Council.
Correct. The same ones that were funded last year, except no NACO.
American Exchange Council?
And the newest one in that is the ALCC, that's the county executives,
Correct.
ALEC.
Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to tourism. Tourism, come on up. Page 182 and 183.
Good evening, Chairman Goldman, Legislator Birmingham, and Legislator Elner, and the other members of the legislature.
I'd like to give a little synopsis of what you want to do next year, or just go into the budget.
So this year, I just want to give you guys just a little quick synopsis. Again, as you may have been aware from our last year's discussions, that we have surpassed our COVID numbers in 2023. We were one of the fastest growing counties in the Hudson Valley when it comes to visitor spending with 11% growth. The latest numbers for 2024 for visitor spending increased to a total of $88.3 million. And that was saving taxpayers roughly about $303 per household. That is $10,600,000 in annual savings for the taxpayers of Putnam County. So I just wanted to give you the synopsis. And I do have a little spreadsheet that was provided by the New York State Tourism Industry Association, NYSTIA, just showing a breakdown of the total spendings in regards to that. I can present it to you if you like.
Hey, that's enough, please. Motion to make
Accept additional?
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Just showing that information.
Well, I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very true. What does tourism mean in Putnam County? It means a lot. Okay, we're going into the budget here. Personnel services. What's the increase for?
Are we doing personnel in each committee, or are we going to do personnel and personnel?
On the budget, for right here, the second item down is personnel. So we're going to cover this under the personnel budget?
I think so.
Okay. All right, moving on to telephone.
We don't need it.
You wanted 250, what is that?
This is, you'll recall the other night, John Tully was talking about the chargeback system that's been implemented this year, so it's just been moved from a 4,000 line to a 5,000 line. Same amount of money, no fiscal impact.
Great, thank you.
It's just further down in the budget.
Contracts, what contracts are we getting rid of, or are we going to put on a different line?
So the contract is, we have an existing contract with our vendor with Travel Story. This is for doing an audio tour. That is part of our Revolutionary 250 project. We were advised for Transparent for Audit that it had to be as a contract line. The number is there, and it will always be continually be there as long as we utilize or continue using the audio tour for the county. So respectively, that's just covering licensing agreement fees that is situated for the audio tour, plus covering any last minute finishes that need to be done for the tour before we launch it live completely for next year. So that's just funding for that purposes.
Any questions about that?
There's two contract lines. One, it looks like you've eliminated.
So we had a contract this year for that was set up for the entire production for the thing, for the audio tour, which was $13,700. So we're just having just the one contract line.
And that's the...
That is for the existing purposes
That's
for
the
the audio.
2,500.
The 2,500, and it probably will be less next year, because again, we just had to put a little additional extra money there, just in case we need to do any minor tweaks that need to be done to make sure the audio tour is smooth for anyone that's utilizing it, because it's on an app, and then after that, it's just to cover the licensing agreement fees for the utilizing the audio tour. And it'll be, again, that contract line will always exist until we decide we no longer want to use the audio tour for the county.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, moving on to advertising. Very large increase, what's that for?
Well, next year is a rather big year for tourism in general, between one of the biggest sporting events that's coming to the United States, the FIFA World Cup, and two, being the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. We want to be able to, with our neighboring counties, we can't always just, we want to be on the same somewhat playing field with the surrounding counties. We can't just rely on I Love New York funding. As you may recall, last year, I Love New York cut our budgetary funds by $9,000. So we want to make sure we have a budget that can help us compete to entice visitors to come into our area, especially to show the history and the culture of our county, as well as encourage people who are visiting the United States, New York, to come up to the Hudson Valley and to come to Putnam County.
That's great, thank you. Question? Yes, sir?
Do you think that a World Cup soccer fan is going to be interested in the history of Putnam County?
Well, it's the Hudson Valley in general. It's not just the history. There's other attractions in the area that Europeans might be interested in seeing. I mean, it might give them a bit of taste of home, seeing the landscapes and the Hudson River, the great pristine lakes that we have. Our arts and culture between like Hudson Valley, Shakespeare, Magazzino, Manitoga. Individuals might be enticed to come up here. Again, we're very accessible from the city. We're only an hour north, either via train or a car. So yes, there is. But it's not just international flair. There's people from across the nation that will be probably traveling to see different games. Again, the final game, this match is happening here at MetLife. Again, big attraction coming into the city for the 4th of July. So there's opportunities there that could potentially encourage people to come up to the Hudson Valley since we're so close to proximity.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Good comment. I mean, I think there was a time when I first got involved with local government that we were looking to promote tourism, especially in my district. That was 20 years ago. Here we are 20 years later, and people and elected officials, especially in my district, raise concern about the amount of tourism that we've been inundated with. So the three organizations that you just mentioned, Manitoga, Boscobel, Magazzino, are all in my district.
Mm-hmm.
And I've often said over the years, especially in talking to New York about their I Love New York program, I understand that program is just for advertising outside of the county, to bring people into the county. A lot of it is directing people toward my district. What doesn't coincide with the amount of promotion for my district is the amount of public safety needed to address the increased tourism, the amount of health and safety in regard to refuse and garbage, and the amount of impact on, our roads and parking. We don't have the capacity. We do have an opportunity to create the infrastructure we need to deal with the tourism, to deal with the safety issues, but we don't have that in place yet. And as you've probably read in the news, it's met with great resistance. So until we have the infrastructure to manage the amount of tourism we want to promote in my district, we really need this money for the things to manage what we have. And right now, it's a health and safety issue, and we can't handle any more promotion of tourism in my district. Not my choice. As I said, there was a time where the business owners on Main Street really were desperate for us to promote tourism. And we're at a time now where the public and the elected officials, I would say, it's not my opinion, but they're feeling inundated with tourism, and we do not have the infrastructure to support it. So I question why we're putting an extra $31,508 into promoting tourism.
If I may, to Nancy, to amplify, there's another advertising line, so it's an additional 10,000 that's on the next page.
Mhm.
So it would be 41,000, and I agree with you.
I'm not saying we shouldn't be promoting tourism. I'm saying, what are we doing in addition to providing the infrastructure and the resources we need in public safety, in ambulance service, in garbage removal, all the things that we talked about in the past?
Well, the reason why we're asking for it, it's not just because of the big cities of that, but we also want to be able to promote events or different things that are happening in the county that are not like I Love New York. For example, there may become a time where we had issues with getting approval with I Love New York for promoting the Putnam County Fair and 4-H. Having the advertising there for the extra funding will help us promote that fair. We might not always get the guarantees that I Love New York will approve these kind of funding. That's why we're requesting some extra funding to be on the safe side. As again, our surrounding counties don't have to worry about utilizing I Love New York. They have their own funding, so we want to level the playing field to show the attractive gem across the entire county. We want to be able to highlight Thunder Ridge. We want to highlight Liberty Paintball. We want to be able to highlight Mycochola Conservation Area. We want to be able to highlight the Ninfa Mountain Conservation Area, Putnam County Veterans Park, Fondstock. It's a broad spectrum, not just on the Cold Spring side, but also on the eastern side, highlighting the restaurant row on Route 6. Like I like to call it Maya Pack, when you can get any type of cuisine you want, from Italian to Greek to Korean to Japanese, Chinese to Ecuadorian, Guatemalan. So we want to highlight the entire broad spectrum of tourism in the county.
Crawley?
So, with all due respect, we gave last week, or the week before, we gave monies to east side of the county tourism, right, to help them.
That wasn't for tourism, that
It
was
was
for
for
capital
Boscoville,
improvements.
for Boscoville and the arts and all that stuff. So if we're giving them money to support them, then we're going to be showcasing them for tourism, right? Because we want them to be successful, which I know they are, and I know that they bring a lot of.
They can't manage what they have now.
But then why are we giving them money to
manage
bring
what
in
they
more
have
people?
now, to create the infrastructure that they are sorely desperate to manage now.
So it's to offset, like, for garbage and things like garbage removal?
No, they gave you the projects those monies are for. The Shakespeare one is proposed for lighting, for ADA accessibility to the theater. For the Garrison Art Center, it was also for ADA accessibility so that people lacking in,
So
you
more
know,
people can go though, is my point, and they do wonderful things. I'm not disagreeing, but the point is we're giving them money to make them more accessible and make them grow and continue to get bigger, which if we don't want them to grow and get bigger, then I guess what I'm saying is then maybe we shouldn't be offsetting their budget or trying to help.
$30,000 in
Is a drop in the
advertising
bucket.
for $10,000 you've given them for lighting doesn't match up to me.
I'm just asking the question here, because I'm trying to understand, if we're giving them money to grow and be more accessible, then why are we not going to broadcast and advertise for them? I just want to understand that. That's all I'm,
Talk to the mayors and the supervisor and the.
certainly
and the-
will. I just
Yeah.
want to understand it, that's all.
Okay, so, hi. So we have two different advertising lines. One is $60,000, that reflects what we're getting for the I Love New York. Is that correct? Because you've got $60,000 income from the I Love New York, and then we're spending $60,000 in advertising.
No, this is county advertising. I Love
So
New York
this is the $60,000 is coming out of the county, and then what about the 10 on the bottom? What's that?
That's just to
Rev 250.
Rev 250 to show the difference, like 10,000 go to Rev 250, 60,000 for all potential aspects of advertising.
So the addition, this is additional $60,000 plus an additional $10,000, so an additional $70,000 over and above the I Love New York funds. And this is being used for Rev 250?
No,
Just the 10,000 is for Rev 250.
well, again, this is going to cover any opportunity that we, of allowing us abilities to promote from, that we never had an opportunity to do. So, for example, we're part of the co-op organization Hudson Valley Tourism. And with Hudson Valley Tourism, there's opportunities to do co-op partnerships. But Putnam County never had an opportunity to be a part of those co-ops because we didn't have the financial means to pay for it. So there's going to be there's going to be times that probably come up during Hudson Valley Tourism where that we could do a co-op, for example, with getting someone into the county or highlighting the entire Hudson Valley. That we had an example of a person who wanted to do a television show highlighting the Hudson Valley. But we didn't have the financial means to be able to hop into that co-op. As much as I really wanted to, and it would have given the viewership, the county would highlight aspects of the county. We couldn't do that because we didn't have the means to do it. So we had to pull out. And then if we were to do it ourselves, it was $30,000 just to do us ourselves, and that would just drain our budget. And it was not. We were trying to be fiscally responsible. This allows us, again, like I said, to enter in means that other counties have done that we couldn't do. This gets us in the same sort of level playing field. Not the same level playing field. I mean, their budgets are a lot higher, and we understand that. We understand Putnam County is not the same as Westchester or Orange. We're not trying to compare us, but we want to give us the opportunity for branding purposes to show people like, hey, we're just as good as those counties. I'm sorry if anyone that's from Westchester or Orange might potentially listen to this. But like, we just want to be able to opportunity again. This is not just the attractions. This is to highlight the boutiques, the restaurants, showing places to stay, like the Comfort Inn, to be able to like, hey, we have a campground at Fonstock. This is to highlight, again, events that happen throughout the county that I Love New York wouldn't deem worthy for advertising, utilizing their funding.
And that's what I was going to say, there's more than just what's on the
Exactly.
western side of the county, because I've seen ads on cable news where you were highlighting the golf course, and you were highlighting.
Yeah, and we want to highlight everything to that perspective. It's not just again, like I said, we want to do a broad spectrum, hiding all the unique gems in the county. I know Cold Spring and Garrison is an enticing area for people that would like to visit. And again, some of those venues, like I said, Boswell, they enjoy that. I know Boswell needs that kind of visitation to help them with their renovation project. It's very costly on them, and they want to highlight the ability. I mean, I'm very happy to see that the house is reopened and they're showing the people the inside the house and showing the progress that they've made. By doing so, we want to highlight that as well to get the people to come in and see a part of our history. Seeing with Magazino, they love that kind of attention. For example, not a lot of people knew about their service they have to shuttle people from the train station to Magazine. They have a shuttle service. So we want to highlight that to get them out of the Cold Spring, the village, and then let them see over there. Or highlight just, again, some of our main attractions in Putnam County for outdoor activity is fishing. We have a lot of fishing areas. We want to show that. One of our fishing areas is handicap accessible, ADA accessible White Pond. We want to highlight that ability, for an example. A lot of people may know that. We want to be able to highlight that. Hudson Valley Shakespeare is going to be a groundbreaking thing. For example, we want to show the accessibility that they have, like ADA compliance, to bring a new audience as well. So this line allows us to highlight unique things and what they're capable of doing.
I think we have a lot to offer here in Putnam County. I've been saying for years, this is God's country, and the more people around us see it, it's a good thing.
And for the example, you've seen, we brought, for 2024, it's 88.3 million, and that was with a small amount of money. By continuing to invest in us, will bring more funding, help bring more cost efficiency for the taxpayers in Putnam County. So that's what we want to do.
What I would suggest is, when January 1st comes, put a proposal, not a proposal, but a plan of action of what you plan on doing for tourism, and if there's any issues with any district, then maybe cut back in that specific area. But the sooner you do that, the better and more comfortable people might be.
Yeah, I would hope that that plan is in place before we approve this funding, and that you as a committee see that before. My concern is, we do want to highlight our county. We want to continue to help these not-for-profit organizations and cultural organizations bring in more people. How is that offset by public safety, transportation management, garbage removal, ambulance service, all of those things that a visitation management plan would address, and we don't have that, but we're just funding it.
As a business person, I have a lot of difficulty swallowing a virtual triple in spending, because advertising dollars do not come back dollar for dollar. What you spend in advertising comes back in a much, much lower percentage. In addition, this 88.3 million, how do you know who's a Putnam County resident and who's a tourist? Whatever was spent on food and beverage, you give a credit card, you pay cash. No one knows the address. So, yes, 36.6 million was spent on food and beverage, 11 million was spent on recreation and entertainment, so half of that. How much of it do we know for sure came from people outside of the county? A lot of people who live here eat here. So my problem here is I want justification why you want to triple the advertising line, and I also agree that if you are going to be wildly successful, and I hope you are, that the ancillary things that are needed to make it successful, health, public safety, refuse removal, transportation, etc., are all taken care of. So before I'm going to vote to approve this, I'd like to know what they are. Because overall here, I'm seeing a significant increase in what you want by taxation. And aren't the taxpayers burdened enough?
Any other comments?
Just a procedural question, and it's been 12 years since I've been on the committee, budget committee. Do we make any proposed changes in the committee section, or do we do it at the budget and finance committee?
You can make changes out of committee.
In this committee? Okay, just wanted to know.
What was the response?
You could do it at both.
You do it at both? Okay.
Or you adopt the budget.
Okay.
Could you do work in the next 2 weeks and come up with something for budget and finance?
If you need, I can do that for you guys, that's not a problem.
Okay, well, please do.
I think what's needed is how did we come up with this $60,000, this $31,000 increase is all, just randomly saying it's going to be promote our restaurants and our cultural organizations, and I don't think we saw the plan maybe that you presented to the county executive. And if there is such a plan that you did present to him, we could see that as well.
Yeah, we can revisit it in budget and finance. Please come up with something. Let's say, Polly?
I just kind of a one-off, but I know, these events and these great, wonderful art exhibits and basketball, and, you know, they do wonderful things. And I know they struggle, but, you know, sometimes when we add certain things that bring a lot of people in, like we've had other businesses and they've had to redo culverts or make things bigger, I don't know if moving forward with the contracts that they have perhaps in the towns and villages where they can help offset them a little bit with, you know, whether it be, if we do something in town here, I know if there's an event or a parade, that organization has to pay for, let's say, the police or something like that. And maybe that's something that should be looked at in the future so that it's not falling on the taxpayers and it is falling on the establishment where they have to kind of contribute to what they're bringing in. So it takes the burden off the towns and off the villages. And
I think they're contributing in their sales tax revenue to the county.
I don't
to
disagree.
that.
I'm just talking.
And they're getting money back this year.
Yes, they are.
So I'm just trying to find a way to meet in the middle somewhere, because infrastructure, you know, like with the pilot programs that we've built, I know they had to redo certain roads and they even built certain you know, ways to get onto the highway to not, you know, overuse the roads and things like that. I'm just looking at it from a whole county perspective and trying to think of ways to, you know, we want to highlight, obviously, these great venues. And I don't live in Cold Spring, so I don't see it every day. But I also want to understand there's got to be some sort of in the middle, right?
Is taking place right now at the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, I believe, with the payment of a very expensive traffic light on Route 9. So those things are happening, but if we're promoting tourism overall and relying on these cultural organizations to do that as well, you know, it's like we're promoting tourism overall and sending people to Putnam County overall. One-off events, I'm sure we can come up with something, but that's not going to solve the problem of bringing people in on a regular basis to Putnam County, which I think is what we're talking about here.
Maybe charge for parking or something like that. I know they said they do free parking. Maybe that offset of $3 for parking to add to, you know, something that could help. Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I understand.
I think we need a visitation plan. If we're really promoting tourism in Putnam County, we need to have a plan for how we're going to do that.
Well, I want them to succeed and be successful, but also not burdened. So I was trying to figure out, you know, and in the middle.
Yeah, there's lots of things that we can do to solve it, which, you know, requires a plan, I think.
Agreed.
Bill said he'd be right back, but if I could, I just have a question. I know in the I Love New York dollars we had, there's certain restrictions on not only where we can spend the money geographically, but also messaging as well. Are there any restrictions in the I Love New York funds for, so that, for instance, you know, if you look at some of this, North Dakota, for instance, they had, or was it South Dakota? One of the Dakotas had a advertisement, TV advertisement, which I guess it was South Dakota, it was Kristi Noem, I think, where she was, hey, I'm Governor Kristi Noem, come to North Dakota, we're doing a lot of good stuff here. I think, it's my recollection that, does New York's, I Love New York dollars have that same restriction?
Anything when it comes to I Love New York funding,
Yes.
whether it's our ads, if we do it through our ads. For the advertising, we have ads we created that we don't want to use, we don't get the proof with I Love New York.
Yep.
So we don't get restricted. When it comes to any radio play, television, digital, anything, we are handcuffed to them.
Okay.
So they need to approve the wording, they need to make sure the legal language is there. And if, say, the image of I Love New York is off by like a tiny little millimeter, they will say, nope, back, fix it. They will not approve anything until it meets their requirements. This advertising line through the county, I know it's a big jump, but this allows us not to be handcuffed to the state.
Well, my question
Like
is...
our counterparts in other counties,
Yeah.
they have massive funding. And again, I'm not trying to compare it to them. I know our restrictions, and I do not want to be overburdened to the taxpayers. I understand that's your concern.
Well, no, my particular concern in this particular question, just to narrow down the focus, is the example I gave, where former Governor Kristi Noem said, hey, come to North Dakota, I think it was North Dakota. We're doing a lot of good things, we got jobs and things like that. Does the New York State I Love New York program have a prohibition against legislator Dan Birmingham saying, come to Putnam County?
Again, some point, if we're using I Love New York funds for that commercial, the legal language of I Love New York needs to be in there somewhere. They may, again, it's up to, they review it. We hand them the commercial and they may turn around and tell us no. And they'll tell us why, and then we have to fix it. It's up to their discretion whether they turn around and say no. But again, for the purposes of the advertising line there, that we won't have to rely or be worried about I Love New York
I get it.
moving forward, that we can do things, whether it's, for example, get connected with a Boston Globe reporter to show people from Boston what Putnam has, to like Tyson, for example, to show the hiking and the
I get
fishing
it.
in the area. It's giving you the ability to show that they're Putnam to different to different audiences. That's the point that we want to be able to do.
Let me ask you a question a different way. We have a sign policy in Putnam County where the county can't pay for a sign that says, Dan Birmingham welcomes you to Putnam County, or Dan Birmingham is having a constituent meeting at the Brewster Library. And that's good. We passed that about 15, 20 years ago. It sounds like the I Love New York program has a lot of restrictions, most of which are very good, I would think, if not all of them. My question would be, and maybe this is something we wouldn't do, obviously, we're just dealing with numbers now, but I would maybe suggest to my colleagues that we probably want to put some similar language with maybe expand on that sign policy with respect to advertising dollars. You know, like, again, I just think of that North Dakota, which was a great commercial, by the way. I'm sure they got a lot of mileage for it. And they probably did a very good thing, but I think more on the local level, I'd like us to see us try and fashion something like that, whether it's an amending of our 2008 sign resolution or something like this. In other words, I just wouldn't want to see any of the advertising dollars mention a legislator or anyone else elected officials.
No, I mean, again, for purposes for our advertising, if you're using the logo Discover Putnam where the country began, that would be the main attraction point for advertising. That'll be on all the ads. But for legislator, that for at least for advertising ones for us, we wouldn't. I don't know. If it mind if I transparent for historical precedents, again, this would be before I came in, was that ever?
To the best of my knowledge, that has not been allowed, nor have I ever seen like, county executive Newhouse or anybody say, come to Orange or do that. And also a historical perspective, which may or may not change minds, is I made a decision. I was here for 6 months before COVID hit.
Yep.
And I made a decision not to raise advertising dollars on the local level until we surpassed our pre-COVID numbers, because I didn't feel that it was correct. So this increase is really a long time coming, and I bear some of the responsibility for specifically suppressing that line, because I had made a pact with myself as a Putnam County taxpayer that I could not raise a line until the county recovered. And not only did we recover and we're the fastest growing, Tara's brought that even further than I did in this last year. So I would really, with respect, different from what you're talking about, but to legislator Elner, and I consider this, and we had a conversation once, an investment in our county. And the more we invest in our county, the greater the ROI will be. And
Well, what's the percentage
goal,
of the
that's
ROI
from-
you expect?
well, that's from tourism economics, so we didn't make that up. That's the forefront analysis of tourism revenue. We
the
will get
state.
an answer back to you of the percentages, but that didn't even come from NISTIA. That came from
That was
tourism economics, which is the gold standard that we do use. But we're saving after our budget, After our spending, we save every taxpayer $303. Every tax-paying household. We don't want to sit on those laurels. We want to up that. It's going to take a little money to save the taxpayer more.
Just,
That's what we want to do.
yeah, I'll just wrap up I think in a roundabout way, I've got an answer to my question. There is no prohibition on that, so I think maybe that's something we'll work on.
Something we have to work on in the future.
Okay.
But I know
Thank you.
throughout the county, maybe 10 years ago, we got rid of the clean up Putnam County, and there were still signs periodically everywhere with people's names on it saying,
Well-
you know, I cleaned up this area. So I would like to see this policy, which I didn't know we had. So. Legislator?
So I did a little looking. So it's every dollar invested in New York State tourism marketing generates $7 to $9 in visitor spending. Applying that to Putnam's local efforts, which typically receive around $500 to $700,000 annually in tourism promotion funds. So the ROI is 700 to 900%, meaning $7 to $9 return for every dollar invested. There's visitor spending, which was $88.3 million, 3 to 5% impact, 800 jobs, 3.5% up, and tax revenue was $6.7 million, impacting $380 per house. So the return on investment was $7 to $9.
And if you want, I could send you the entire report regarding the Hudson Valley, so you can see the breakdown for Putnam County. Again, this is just an investment for longevity for Putnam.
I just want to know if you have a breakdown of how many of these was Putnam, how many of this spending, how much of this was Putnam County residents, and how much was visitors?
I'll look into
Because
it.
I don't think.
Visitor spending was $88.3 million.
Yeah, how do you know it was a visitor who bought that meal? How do you know it was a visitor who bought that gas? How do you know it was a visitor and not a family member who was staying at the Comfort Inn? Okay, this is total spending in these categories.
So a definition of a visitor is someone who travels at least 50 miles from home or stays overnight in paid accommodations.
Sure.
There's two data source credit card and mobile device data that they use to compile this. So that's where they're getting these statistics from.
I'm going to move on. Please get us that information on one of the.
Well, I want everybody to understand my point. I'm not opposed to advertising our great, wonderful amenities in Putnam County. Just a word of advice coming from someone who represents a district who feels incredibly inundated with tourism. Our residents are deeply affected by it. I would say create the infrastructure to manage it before we advertise it. It could happen on the east side of Putnam County as well. It's beautiful over here. You have wonderful amenities also. What I thought we wanted to do 20 years ago has backfired, and now we're faced with a very unsafe situation. And we're trying, and those local organizations and those not-for-profits are making major capital improvements, investing private money, while they're generating lots of sales tax revenue that goes back to Putnam County. So to promote their wonderful resources is one thing, it's great, but we also have to consider the infrastructure that's needed as far as public safety and improvements.
Thank you.
That's all.
So you heard the comments and the issues. Please get us the information before the Budget and Finance meeting, and we'll move forward on that. Lease transportation. We have a $10,000 increase. What is that for?
Okay, so this lease transportation line is meant to help provide services for events throughout the county to help make their event successful. So that is like transportation that'll be help for the St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Columbus Day Parade, Holiday on the Lake, the trolley being used to help shuttle people for the German American Club for their Oktoberfest, any event that needs the help with transportation to help making their event successful. That's the transportation line. The reason why we ask for more is because we know that the hourly rate for the drivers is going up by $2 next year, and with a set amount of hours needed per that. So we want to be able to accommodate as many events as possible, and any money that is not utilized or that's in that line will be transferred back, and it will not be back to the county. by the end of the year. So if it's not utilized fully, it's gonna go back to the county.
Thank you. Any other comments for tourism?
I have a comment about the leased transportation. I just want you to know I fully support it. I think any investment in transportation and the use of the trolley for these events has been really wonderful for people in my district. So I appreciate that increase and I support it.
Yep, no problem. And it's,
Thank you. Any comments from the audience on tourism?
There was one bill.
Legislature?
Yeah, your miscellaneous line, how come you're increasing it by 7 times?
we're not. So the miscellaneous line, so that's just with the current amount. What we had to do is we used this line to help, when we originally asked the approval for when the budgetary line was approved in 2025, it was 7,000. So
But
we
that
were just.
was revised to 1,000, and you spent 0.
No, we transferred money out into lines based on the recommendations by audit into needs to cover for certain fundings for that would need it out that miscellaneous line. Again, we're not asking for the additional funding. It's we asked for 7,000 last year. We're asking for 7,000 this year.
And
The funding has been
But that
used.
served as a placeholder, which I always have problems with.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tara.
Thank
Thank you, Tara.
Next is Economic Development Corporation, page 184.
By the way, wonderful breakfast last week.
Yes, it was.
Oh, thank you for coming, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Would you like to give a little synopsis of what you want to do this year?
Yes, I would. We have a very small budget. It's not nearly as complicated. My head is spinning from listening to what tourism goes through, even though tourism and the IDA and the EPC act as a team. The request we put in for was 5.12% increase. Our expenses basically, it's salaries. A lot of money is spent on things we have to that really aren't very much fun at all, like accounting and auditing, insurance policies that we need to have. We do spend some money on dues with other organizations, I mean, Chamber of Commerce, Pattern for Progress, the Hudson Valley Regional Council. And we did put in for a modest increase in marketing, but our total marketing budget requested for this coming year is $25,200. The reason we want to do more marketing is we want to have more events like the symposium, because we do make money. It's down this year. I was up in tears this morning because I was doing my spreadsheet. It's like, oh my God, it's down, I'm a failure. But it does help. We certainly appreciate the county's support and their generosity, and we would like our organization to go on. And one of the ways to do that is to increase awareness that we do exist, and to help guide people. It's not just about trying to attract, giant businesses that will take over our county. I think small businesses are extremely important to our character and our community. Also, one of the things that Putnam County is lacking is infrastructure. So no, we don't want a data center here, because not only do we not have the electricity capacity to support it, but those data centers, they gobble up like all the water in a community. I've read some terrifying articles about, I think one out in Chicago, it was like in a suburb, and the next thing, the neighbors who had been there for generations, they couldn't flush their toilets. So I think we have to continue to attract both large and small businesses. We need to continue to nurture them and help them grow. I think the sweetheart of Putnam County is Ace Indico. They've just completed, I think it was their 4th 100,000 square foot expansion, and there'll be more to come. They're wonderful neighbors, they're great employers, and it's important for our community to have jobs that give a living wage, so that we don't have to commute. I worked with Hudson Valley Regional Council recently, and one of the things that popped up, I'm like, that's just not right. How in your gut you're saying, this can't be right, because they had them down as, they had our residents down as commuting to Sullivan County. I'm like, no, that can't be correct, and it wasn't. But we like to keep people at home and cut down on the commuting. It's very bad for the environment. I personally feel it's dangerous. I've had to travel over the summer to quite a bit to the Bronx. My aggressive driving skills have vastly improved, but it's not what I like to do. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we're requesting. One of my points of pride is when I started in this position in 2019, the budget was $175,000, and last year it was $175,000. So I like to think of myself as parsimonious, not cheap, but we're very careful. It's me, and then I have a part-time employee, Tyler Chong, who's delightful. He's a student. He gets paid by the hour, and he works 6 to 10 hours a week. Everything's in-house. We do QuickBooks ourselves. We do our social media ourselves. It's bare bone.
Thank you. Any legislator?
I just want to say thank you. I visited a facility out in Patterson last week, Relax.
Oh, Relax, yeah.
And
Oh,
they
you were there
spoke
with my daughter.
they spoke very highly of you, but also in your help of finding them new spaces if they're looking for them, and just different things that you offer that I don't think a lot of people know, that how many shoes and hats you're wearing and what you're doing for these business owners, large and small. So I want to say thank you. I didn't know about these types of facilities, and these are people that are engineers that are good paying jobs, and they live here, they work here, and it's wonderful, and they want to stay here, and they want to be here, and they spoke so highly of you, just how helpful you've been, and it was a pleasure to hear.
Well, that's very nice to hear, and Bill Nook was there with me when we did our visit to them. They have a very impressive operation. What I really liked about them, because we had, different levels of people working together. It was very elbow to elbow, engineers working with people that are going to construct these things. I was very, very impressed.
Thank you. Legislator?
Thanks for coming, Kathleen. At the May 15th ECO meeting, you said you were going to furnish quarterly reports. Hadn't seen them.
Yep, well, this will be the end of the quarter. It's the end of September. Last week was our symposium, which, kind of sucked the life out. But yeah.
Got it.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I can send you out one that I did last, I believe would have been end of June, and now we'll be working on our quarterly report for July, August, and September. It takes a while to compile because we reach out to every planning board for all of our towns and counties. And what we've determined is their planning boards, each town and county is a different style. So if you're a phone guy, I'm going to call you up and we're going to have a chat. With Carmel, I call, sorry, I can't think of her name. She knows everything that's going on. I look forward to that. And then other towns, Patterson, I'll send them what we have. Am I missing anything? Southeast, which always has a lot of activity because, where do those two interstates intersect? Their stuff is posted on their planning board reports. It's great. I don't have to bother them at all.
You're never a bother.
Any other comments, questions? Any questions from the audience?
And Greg, you know that there's going to be some good news about the Carmel Cinema?
Stole my thunder.
I've heard things that have been,
Right.
I've heard some things that I'm going to say until it's substantiated. I reserve comment, but I heard some things a while ago.
As did I. I talked to Joe Allegretti. He previously worked for Wing Biddle, and the former cinema, they were getting a sweetheart deal because Wing and Gary Goldring, who likes to go to movies and has a lot of money, he was getting a sweetheart deal. It wasn't sustainable. They felt it was unconscionable to continue to pay Regency centers so much under the market for the space. I think it's like 20,000 square feet. But they have found, there was a lot of concern from you, Greg. I appreciate that because you have your finger on the pulse of the community, and Mr. Yaris as well. And they made a concerted effort, and they found a new independent theater company. I'm told it's going in. I snoop around, I drive by, and I pull in any signs. But yeah, I guess they have signed a lease, and they're going to do a major renovation. They have to upgrade all the projectors. But I, feel very, very positive about it. I've worked with Joe Allegretti a number of times. He's a solid guy. He does a great job. He's very experienced. So I'm confident that will happen.
Thank you. State your name and
Ray Harris with Carmel Hamlet. First of all, I want to thank you because I've called you a number of times and you always pick up the phone or call me back, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
This is more of just a comment for everybody, but as we go forward with the EDC, when you were here in May, I think I said this here on the phone too, you had given all these great reports about economic development across the county. One district had a bad report, and it was District 5. It was right here in Carmel Hamlet. And so I would just ask, as we go forward and we put this EDC budget to use, I would really love to see a focus on the hamlet, because the families here, they have to go outside of their hometown, their home community, to really enjoy any of the small businesses here. We have some great ones here like Bliss and Old Time Hot Dog and That Greek Place, and really great places, but there's a need for more. And so I would just ask to really put a focus on the hamlet if you could. And yes, the Carmel Cinema, we have great conversations about it, and I've also heard that good things are moving in that direction. So
You inspired me, Brett. I went to see Downton Abbey with a friend because I'm like, I haven't been to movies for years. They're right, they're fun.
yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that. And again, I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the Putnam County IDA, page 186. And information for the audience, the Putnam County IDA with the leadership of Bill Nook, since 2022, when we gave the IDA $40,000, have done a wonderful job. They did a great job last year because they came before us and said we don't need any money, so thank you very much. This year you're requesting $75,000. What is going on?
Well, for one thing, some of the money that I had planned to take care of our 2026 expenses, it kind of passed away. Both the project for the Brewster revitalization, which is a major project, they had actually submitted their application for benefits, and we were getting ready to start the process. I got the application on Friday. They said, we'd like to go over a couple of things. Good, we'll talk to you on Monday. Joe Cotter passed away on Saturday. So that was one. And then the Glenida project was finally through some of all its mechanizations and everything like that. They're clearing the town of Carmel's planning board and getting their stuff there. So they were ready to submit their application for a renewed application. And the chairman president passed away that weekend. So I have a complex now. Don't submit a project to me.
Submit a proposal.
But over and above that, we are also, we have finally gotten to the point now where we have a part-time executive director who's really come in and taken over quite well. And before that, we had an administrator who took care of a lot of the book work, and she knew how to work QuickBooks for Windows or QuickBooks Online, which is a major accomplishment in my book because I use the yellow pad. So we got that help because I'm getting older, and so it's time somebody's going to have to take over. And right now, I look over my shoulder, and there's really nobody behind me, but Paula Hernandez, who's also the executive director of the Brewster Chamber of Commerce and stuff, but she's our executive director, works part-time, a couple of days a week, and then without complaining about it, she answers a lot of phone calls in between, so she's kept very busy. And Heidi Ferreira is our administrator, and she's doing a good job keeping our books up and clean, and we had a very easy audit this past year. This year we also was our first year where we submitted our I'll get it right, our Paris reports before the serious letters. And we did it without, unfortunately, because she wasn't available, the help of Terry Waveda, who has become more sick, and she had a lot of problems. So we did it this year on our own, and we got it in, talked to the folks up at ABO, and they were happy with it, and so we're cruising, and we're ready to submit our Paris budget to them, which is due the end of October, and it'll be in on time, and so we're looking forward to be timely again, which is something that we struggled with for the 10 years that we've been moving along here.
Very good,
So-
thank you.
So,
Yo,
just one more thing.
Of course.
You know, this year, yes, we're asking for 75 because, you know, that's kind of what I worked out it's going to take to cover the 2 employees that we have, and, you know, our other operating expenses. We have an audit, which is a $13,000 a year expense.
State requirement.
Yeah, it's required, got to do it. And, you know, some other expenses. But we kind of kept it down as close as we can. And the good news is that in the last 2 weeks, we've gotten 2 projects that look very good. They're smaller projects, probably in the $10 million range. You know, we're looking forward to them. One of them, I expect an application sometime next week, and the other one's probably a couple of weeks later. So I will make the statement that we've made all the years that we've done this is, if you give us some money and allocate it to us, if we don't need it, we won't ask for it. But, you know, right now, the hump that I'm looking at is the January, February period, especially when, you know, we have closings that we have to get done and things like that. So, depending on how these other 2 projects come around, I don't think they'll be able to close before the end of the year, but they should be able to close shortly thereafter. So.
Thanks. Yeah, Bill, I just want to congratulate you and thank you for all the work you've been doing over the many years. The IDA's reporting requirements, I don't need to tell you, Bill, have mushroomed in the last 10 to 15 years. Paris, for anybody's purpose, doesn't mean Bill's flying off to Paris. It means the Public Authorities Reporting Information System. And that is a needed but very draconian and very detailed report that every IDA has to fill out each year. And in addition to that, as Bill mentioned, you've also got to send their budget, your budget, to them. And all of that takes staff power, all of that takes time and effort. And Bill, you've been doing it, and with Terry's assistance, part-time for many years. I'm glad to see you've got a staff on board. What's also required, as Greg was saying, is the state statute requires you to have an executive director paid, and also requires you to have a treasurer paid, which is typically your auditor.
Right.
Which is fine, and those all are expenses.
Right.
So there's a lot of unfunded mandates, good stuff, you know, because we do need, we like, and I know you do as well, we like transparency. But Bill, the way you've shepherded this over the last few years has been amazing. And,
It's coming on 10 years, so.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
It's been a haul.
Yeah.
Bill, I want to thank you for all your service and your volunteer hours. Retire.
Yeah, well, just don't spell it wrong.
And I'm very glad that you have professional help to see this through, and for the people at home and the people in the audience, the IDA did not generate any revenue unless a project comes to fruition. So because these projects didn't close, there was no revenue generated to the IDA. So I wish you all the luck and the correct retirement.
Just some commentary about some earlier discussions is that, you know, people don't realize, and we were talking about, you know, who's paying for all the stuff that we get here in Putnam County. But remember that actually before COVID, they used to say close to 65% of our workforce got up every morning and went someplace else to work. So they were bringing in income from those places. So you could say they're bringing in the money, you know, even if they spend it here, which is great, they should do that. So we're getting money that way. Now the number's probably closer to 50, 55%, but it's still, you know, that's what we have. We have the, we don't have the infrastructure to support a lot of different things, and so Putnam County is a tough sell for a lot of different industries, and with Kathleen and Tara's help there, we're we're getting some people here that are interested in, getting some projects. So the IDA is the toolbox, and we're here to help, and that's our job.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Any from the audience? Seeing none? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4 is other business. Seeing there's no other business, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. On to the next meeting.
Good night, Bill.
Welcome to Health, Social, Educational, and Environmental Committee Budget Meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Legislator Eleanor, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Legislator Elner,
Here.
Legislator Russo,
Here.
Chairwoman Adenizio.
Here. Okay, we're starting with page 59, which is community college.
That's me.
That's you. So I see.
Are you a freshman?
It's a senior.
Long time since then.
Sorry. That was too good. So I was wondering, I know I've asked this in the past,
Sure.
how many students?
The full-time FTEs, I'd have to get the exact number.
Yeah, approximate?
300-400.
300 or 400, okay, so just so that everyone's
Yep.
aware
Right.
that since we don't have a community college in Putnam County, they do benefit from going to any of the SUNY schools.
Correct.
Putnam County gives them tuition partial. Okay, so I see that it's basically stayed the same.
Yeah, I cut a little because the community college rates are going down next year, an average
That's
of
good.
4.6%. We got a letter on September 18th after we had submitted our original estimate. And most important to us is the biggest use of our funds, Westchester Community College is going down. So that's why I've shaved that number.
Okay, so I see, so it's down to 4.425 million?
Yes.
4,025,000, okay.
Okay, any questions or comments from any legislators? Anybody from the public have any questions or comments on community college? No? Okay, we're going to move on to page 228 and 229.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. I'm sure you'll be coming back up.
I'll still be here.
Okay. So these, this is county historian. 228. Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Cassidy, the county historian. Thanks for having me tonight.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm just looking this, the only thing really that stood out here was the Rev 250.
Oh, sure.
So that's, yeah, that's a big jump here. Yes, just, yeah, maybe you could just explain that.
Okay, so I kept the budget as bare bones as possible. You may have noticed, so much so that I even left off potable water. So I got to fix that one. In the village, we don't have that. So this for 250, this is going to, I can detail some of the programs that we'll be having in 2026. And let me just go to that page.
Actually, Jen, while you're
Sure.
there, quick question. Do you think this amount's sufficient?
I think it's more than I'll need.
Okay. Just
I'm
wanna
being
make sure-
brutally honest, yeah.
Just want to make sure you got what you need for this. This is important.
Great, thank you. So if we look into 2026, we're going to expand upon the revolutionary Putnam County Grant Program, which was open to every town across, like your historical societies and the two main history museums. Really successful launch just this past weekend in Kent. They had an excellent reenactor program on Saturday afternoon. Putnam History Museum benefited from some public printing, like Revolutionary War publications to disseminate to the public. Town of Southeast Museum will be using something in December. Mayapack Library will have a reenactment. So these are specific above and beyond the arts. So this isn't what Joyce Pacone and the Arts Center would cover. This is because it's history and reenactment, it doesn't fall under her purview. So this is above and beyond. So I'd like to expand that grant program up to $15,000 this year. So hopefully that'll be a number of grants throughout, all the way across the county evenly, up to $2,500 per. And then we also have a scheduled exhibit at Mayapack Library. So that will include printing and a reenactor performance. In April 2026, we'll have Sybil Ludington's Ride anniversary. There's been an increase in demand for promotional items and educational materials, especially for schools and libraries. And I really think when there's a demand, history has to feed the need. So we've had some really good interactions on both of those fronts. I'd like to host a number of historian roundtables gathering to honor the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. So that would include things like workshops and possibly luncheons, so to be determined quarterly at the least. Next up, it would be June 2026. This is going to be our time to shine. This will include Putnam County Day, and we're going to include a large-scale reenactment at Veterans Park. And that price tag, I'm estimating right now to be about $15,000. And that's a lot. So we're talking about rentals, promotional items, printing, etc. But in that, we're combining Putnam County Day and this reenactment. So there won't be two separate events. And then for those of you who joined us this past summer at the county fair, thank you. It was a tremendous success. Thank you for believing in our office to host a pavilion with all the historical societies and museums. And so this year, or for 2026, I anticipate a large tent rental cost. Last year we got really lucky and the Parks Department was able to sweetheart Cartwright tent rentals, and they gave them a really good deal. I'm not sure we're going to be that lucky in the coming year because there's going to be a lot of demands. So I want to make sure that we have enough money for that large pavilion space again. And then that will also include reenactors, again, promotional items, printing, etc. And then we have 2 weekends in June and October. That's called the Path Through History Weekend, and that's through I Love New York. And normally we create exhibits. So this upcoming weekend is actually Path Through History Weekend, where we're going to be having the Sybil Luddington, the Restore Sybil Rally, it's called. It's kind of a campaign to build awareness as to how she needs restorations. I know I've met in the past with you guys about that. So, and then, if there's extra, and I trust there will be, because I do run a very frugal office, is digitization initiative for newspapers. So as it stands now, the Putnam County Courier is only available through historic news, HRVH historical newspapers up through 1930. So that means the public can only research up till that date. So not 1931 and on is not there. Digitization is very expensive. We have many of the microfilms in the archives library. We also have Cold Spring News and Recorder that could use something. So the starting price tag starts at about $10,000. So I've earmarked about $20,000. Even if we do, for this 250th anniversary, maybe we do 5 to 10 years of newspaper archives so people can really dive in and research history. So that's my wish list. You know, I don't do this alone. I'm a part-timer. I have 2 part-time staff and 5 amazing volunteers. So I'm not lonely. We do fun work. We do great work. And for those of you who haven't been to visit the archives and the research library, please come by. For those of you who have, come back. And I welcome any questions.
Thank you.
Do we
Any
have
questions from the president, any questions from the committee?
Yeah, just jumping around, the only line that catches my eye is you significantly reduce special projects.
Well, that's because the American Revolution funds will take place. Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do you need to add for water?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
we know that.
That's going to go back for chargebacks?
Solution this year.
Yes, there's a solution in the Department of General Services. You won't be without water.
Right.
You'll
Okay.
you'll talk about that initiative.
That's
That
chargeback.
Great.
Anyone else?
I just want to say thank you for the detailed and the line items with the particular amounts on them. I appreciate that knowledge. Maybe we can get a copy of that.
Oh, sure,
If you can
sure.
forward that.
And it's a
I'm sure-
ballpark. It's a gen
I'm sure
estimate.
that's in what you presented to the county executive also, so we could just access that.
It's a little more informal, so if you want something a little more polished, I can get to hard work on it, but I'm happy to share it, for sure.
It's much, I mean, I like that detail when I'm looking at a new
Great.
line item at
Mhm.
over $56,000. You know, it's nice to know really what it's for.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
thank
happy
you.
to provide that. I'll follow up with
Thank you.
the legend.
And I love the initiative for the archives, that's wonderful for the Courier, I think that's fantastic.
Great, thank
Because
you.
sometimes in the Courier now, they always have that little corner, like what happened in 1800 or, 1890.
Yeah.
They have a little snippet,
It
not all the
is-
time, right?
It's worthwhile, and it's especially for the town of Southeast folks in the room. We just filled a void this past year with the funding in our '25 budget. There were 2 years of the Brewster Standard archives missing, so we partnered with Brewster Library and outsourced those 2. They were bound in large books, and they had to be, cut up and photographed. And so just today, those 2 years went live, and it sounds silly. It was 1908 and 1909, which may not seem like that big of a deal to all of us in the room, but for that person looking for that one obituary, that one, election result, something I'm pleased to be part of the solution, not the problem. So.
Great, that's great. Anyone else comments? Anybody from the public? Comments or questions? For our historian, Okay.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, moving on to the Health Department, page 60 to 63. Good evening.
Hello.
So, sitting at page 60. I don't see anything that really jumps out at me. I don't know if anyone else has any questions or comments between 60 and 63. 61.
We just have an opening statement for you.
Yes.
If you want to jump directly to questions,
Okay.
We can go right to
we
questions.
can certainly go right to questions, but just in terms of sort of framing the conversation for this evening.
Sure.
So since joining the department in March, we've made some internal changes to the department structure to address the ever-changing landscape in public health. The Putnam County Department of Health has been divided into 6 divisions: early intervention, fiscal administration, health education, nursing, epidemiology, and environmental health services. While each area operates with distinct staff members, they collaborate to provide Putnam County residents with the highest quality programs and services to meet our mission to improve and protect the health of our community. Understanding the need to balance the fiscal stewardship of the county and maintain the core services of the department, we are requesting the following budget considerations. The requested amounts are not intended to add new programs or services, but rather maintain the necessary staff and services to fulfill our mission. Regarding the Early Learning Center, as those of us in this room know, servicing our preschool special education families is an expensive mandate. It is also a service provision that we take pride in. To address the transit concerns with lengthy rides for some of our most vulnerable children, EI Preschool Supervisor Valerie Kurtz proposed and this legislative body supported this innovative model that has enabled a mix of 19 students to stay local, benefiting from high-quality, inclusive education with their peers that will ultimately recognize cost savings in the long run. It is with that framework in mind that I'd like to open it up for any questions concerning the budget.
Thank you. So I just, one thing on the bottom of page 61, I do have a question. Itinerant services?
Yep.
So that was 132,000 in 2025, and now we're at 572,000.
What page is that? 61?
The bottom of 61.
Last line.
The last line.
The binder's right in
Look
front
in the
of you.
binder.
Yeah, I got it right
You
here.
got it? Do you want the number? It's 541.
It's at the very bottom.
That's last.
Yeah, this is, okay, you're on, okay, this is the new program, so if you see, it didn't have a budget. This is all brand new. So this is a revised budget because we came to you for more money. So all these lines are brand new. That's why you see 0 at the original budget.
Okay, but why do I see 132?
All right, why is it going up?
In
All right, I
2025.
got you, all right.
Okay.
So this was for 4 months or 5 months of this year. You know, it was all
Okay.
a small projection. This is based on 4 classrooms and 15 of our students. Next year, we're gonna have the same thing in the first half of the year, but September is supposed to open and go to 35 to 45 students. So that's why everything is going up.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Thank you. So on page 60, we have the education 3 to 5 program. So there's several lines there that have gone down. The itinerant services there went down a little bit.
A lot of these are going down because it's moved from the ELC.
That was going to be my question.
So when you see things go down, it's just the moving of that.
Right, so that was my question. So it's gone down, lease transportation went down like 28.9%, and that's being moved to,
But that's also,
The new program.
yeah, that's also going down in general, meaning the whole amount didn't go to the ELC. We're expecting a big savings from transportation, keeping it local.
and I just want to say, I had the opportunity to go today to the strategic meeting at the health department, and I was able to go to the Inner Art Center and visit the classrooms, and just beautiful, just amazing. It was very heartening to see. I think Valerie did an excellent job. And I think I'm looking forward to the finished product, you know, when we have all that done. But it's
Hopefully
really nice.
September. Yeah.
September,
Hopefully September.
1 year.
Year from now.
Well, yeah, but
No, it is very impressive. I was there
Yeah.
also. Yeah, it was wonderful.
I'd like to thank this legislative body because, you know, your advocacy and your support is really what, you know, truly brought, you know, took it over the finish line and brought it to fruition, so thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Bill and Rhiannon, I see, which is nice, that the amount being funded by taxation has gone down based on your 26 request and
Yeah.
the 25 budget by some 700+ thousand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Legislator Crowley.
Thank you. I think you guys have done a wonderful job. Thank you for investing in our children, especially our special needs community, and making life easier for them. I applaud you guys, Valerie, this whole legislature, and it is a cost savings at the very end for the people that don't know that at home. You know, we are saving money through the school districts and through you know, our transportation. So just so everybody at home knows, it does look like a big number here, but it's actually saving us money at the end.
Anyone else?
At the benefit of our kids, so it's great.
Thank you.
Any other legislators? Bill, you had your hand up, Bill?
Yes, I should have said this at the beginning. When you refer to page numbers, departments don't have the same page numbers
I have
because.
the page numbers.
Yeah.
I'm good.
There's a book right there.
Yeah, no, you have a book there, or you could refer to the department org number on the left-hand side. I think it'd make it easier for the larger departments to be on the same page, as it were.
I'm good with the page numbers, though.
You're good. Oh, yeah. You don't have to thank you.
I transposed.
Anyone else from the, oh, I'm sorry.
I just have a quick question. Just the contract line from page 62, account number 102960001. I'm just assuming that's the contract we have for CBS.
Is that, was it 58001, did you say?
6001.
46.
Yeah, that's the contract, that's the contract with the companies, the rent.
So it's just one.
That's rent.
It's really
That's
one
rent.
it's one
Not just
contract.
rent, well, yeah, it's rent.
That's just one contract, right? I'm assuming.
I will tell you. That is rent, that is the building cost out, that is security technology and safety systems for 10,000, that's cleaning for 26,000, that's heat and light, so it's a combination of everything.
It would be like similar to what we have going on with Code Care in that building, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody from the audience? Please, yes, please come up.
I just want to say thank you. When you got appointed was one of my first meetings coming here. And to see a project like this come to fruition, that I could not have been more supportive, and I thank all the legislators here who supported it to get it done. But there's a few families that I know of that were also big advocates for this and are looking forward to its expansion and everything else. So just a big thank you to the Health Department, to Valerie, for all of the hard work that went into getting this open. But it's just one more step, as you guys have heard me say endless times, to supporting our families with special needs, which is actually an investment in our community. Not just spending money to help someone out, but it's actually investing in their lives that can benefit the community as a whole. So thank you.
No, thank you. It's not often that we get to say, you know, this truly was a labor of love. And, you know, this is one that truly took a village here. So thank you all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. Moving on to health, nursing, pages 108 to 126.
Is Bill asked 4010?
11.
Any questions on page 108? Page 109. There's a lot of pages up to 126, so.
There's a lot of different accounts here.
Yes. I have a question on page 111. The babies. So, it was 10,000 in 2025, and now you're requesting 5,000. I thought, unless it's split, is it split somewhere here? Because I thought we were,
What account are you referring to?
I'm sorry.
Oh, the rabies. Okay.
Yep, we're 88.
Yep, got it.
4480.
Okay, what was your
Okay,
question?
45. So I'm saying it went down, you're requesting 5,000?
Yes.
Now,
The original budget was 5,000 from last year too, so it's flat.
No, it's 25, it said 10,000.
Well, mine says 5.
2020.
Original 25 says 5.
Mine says 10.
What does yours say?
10 and 24 actuals were basically 11.
Oh, okay.
But if you move to the bottom of the page,
Yeah.
so you did get revenue from a grant. I guess my question is, also on page 112, if you turn over on the top, medical supplies, is that for the rabies and vaccines? Is that was in 2025, $39,530?
Yes.
Because I know, actually, people, it was a big problem last year, I remember when you came here, it was actually people getting rabies from bats.
Right.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible, but,
That's rabies treatment, you know.
That's the
vax-
treatment,
That's the
right.
treatment program, yeah.
so what I'm saying.
So we never
is-
have an idea of how much is,
Okay,
how
but you're
many
asking
people
for
are.
less, is what I'm saying, why is that?
50% less.
Yeah, I was just wondering, are you thinking that this year will be better?
No.
Did you do something to those bats?
Actually, it's
Cut down more
3,000,
trees.
if it's, if
They were
it's,
used by the Red Sox.
if it's line 4330, it's actually 3,000 more than they requested.
43, it's medical supplies you're on?
Yes, is that, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that's what you're talking about.
That's what I thought you were talking about, medical supplies, right?
No.
No, specific rabies on the.
Rabies on the-
4488.
Medical supplies on
Okay.
54330 on the top of page 112.
Okay. In 224, there were 35 cases, okay? In
Okay,
2025, there was 11 cases to date. So
You're expecting.
I'm just going with
Okay.
the flow. So
Okay.
you need more money, we'll
You
come.
didn't want to average them out for this year?
Yeah,
Okay.
but- yeah, so, okay, I follow you now. I thought you were on the medical, the other, the
Okay,
treatment one.
Yeah, because it's split into 3.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that was, anyone else have any questions on rabies or anything on that page? Legislator Montgomery.
So similarly with the tuberculosis
Mhm.
program, that is down to, I had thought that was on
That's-
the rise.
No, it's not on the
But it's
rise.
not.
It's
It's
the
good anymore.
opposite.
So
Yep.
we're doing good
Yep.
work.
We have good news tonight then.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's much to the hard work of the nurses that go out and treat. Thank you.
Yes.
Treat and track, yes,
Treat and track.
yes.
We have page 113, 114, anyone have any questions? 115, 116.
Let's let it-
Those guys.
Just stop me, okay. What page?
Thank you. In the middle of the page, cell phones. You getting rid of cell
What
phones?
What page?
I'm sorry, 115. You getting rid of cell phones or putting them under a different,
Yeah, that's
Chargebacks.
Bill's thing, the chargebacks, yeah.
you got a thing, Bill, with cell phones?
Yeah, he does.
Yep,
Okay, thank
they're
you.
in there.
Okay, 116. 117.
I've got a question on
I have a
117.
question.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
no, 116?
117.
Oh, I do too.
Oh,
Okay,
you
well,
first. You're the
I
chair.
was just. Septic repair?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
What page?
That's page 117 on the top, third one down. So the septic repair revenue
Yes.
was 110, we're not getting, what, 40,000? Is that?
That's
In
an
the
expense.
past,
Yeah, we,
I have put the expense and the revenue of what was remaining and what was state's gonna give us, okay? This year, I just did it on prediction of what it's going to be. So the difference is $70,000 here, went from 110 to 40. The expense went down respectively to $70,000. So it's a fiscal impact of 0. It's just showing it accounting-wise a little differently. Instead of rolling the whole thing, I'm only putting 40 because that's what I think is going to be
Okay, you're
administered.
okay. That's a low number for that.
Yeah, nobody,
Really?
they're not taking advantage of it.
I can't
Well, they have to pay
understand.
50% too, so.
I know.
Well, and also I was hoping that we were looking into other communities, like, because it's based on,
Based on the state, we don't have anything to do with it.
Spade and.
well, and what we apply for specific areas, doesn't it have to do with the lakes?
Yes, and the
that are
watersheds and
affected?
how close they are and.
So my question was, have we applied for any newer
State designated,
different
we have nothing to do with it.
It's not applied.
We have to apply, we have to add lake communities and
Right,
different
but-
communities to that program, and my question is, have we done that? Have we added anything different to the program? I know there were.
So there was a third round of bidding that was allowed,
Mhm.
where there was sort of very little sort of interest in terms of utilization. I think the setup of the program seems to be the biggest issue, in that, 50% of the cost, still remains with the residents,
Mhm.
and they're paying that up front. So unfortunately, as the program currently stands, we're just not getting, a lot of utilization. But, outside of that, we have looked at alternative sort of grant monies that may be out there to be able to do similar kinds of services. But this particular grant and its structure just hasn't been sort of well received.
I think the reason for my question is there is a particular community in my district, in Continental Village, and that big district there, who is interested and has expressed, at least some of the residents have, but they can't access the funding because the lake is not one of the particular ones that's involved with the grant that we get from the state. So, and I think they've reached out to the department to request that that be looked at with, I'm not sure with this, who?
Engineering.
The engineering.
Joe. That's,
And were we working with Soil and Water District with that as well?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
that's separate.
Okay.
But I can
Don't you
certainly.
think that would benefit by working with Soil and Water and, all together to make some
I thought
progress?
they contacted, I have to look back on all the emails, but I know we did talk about it.
We did talk
Yeah.
about it and sort
Yeah,
of.
so I'm hoping that district can be, looked at for being included in the grant.
We can certainly revisit it and see if there's a way to sort of,
Great.
get them designated under some, perhaps circumstance that we've not considered.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know several people that would benefit, but they don't have the money to pay the half
Right.
of that cost. Too bad they can't do the whole thing. Is there a way? Is there something coming up that maybe?
There's not been a way as of yet, but we're always happy to advocate.
Maybe that's something the county with the fund balance we're sitting on could
I think that would be a
contribute
great idea.
with a
That
grant.
would be good. People that are in yet, people can't even sell their house, they have a problem with the septic and can't afford to fix it.
No, that's a quick question, and you touched on it a little bit. What is the exact process to get a lake entered into the program? Is it strictly a state determination, and they have certain criteria that has to be met?
Yes.
And it's, okay, so,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to stop us from having similarly, like Nancy was
Some
saying.
kind of grant
Some-
opportunity.
We could have
Grant.
not a,
Can't call it a
no,
grant,
well, it
right.
wouldn't be a grant, because what we would say is it's helping we have a county purpose of environmental protection. We could say it's that, and, to protect the lake and things like that. Food for thought, though, you're right.
Thanks.
On that.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you. Any other legislators have any comments or other questions regarding this item? Anyone from the public have any comments? Please come up.
Man,
Get your steps in.
I am. Soil and Water, please, we would love to have you come to one of our board meetings, district board meetings, and talk a little bit more about this. Because it's something that, as Legislator Birmingham just pointed out, in the interest of conservation of water and lake quality and things of that sort. So we'd love to have you, two of our sitting legislators, Russo and Eleanor, on the board, with myself and two others. So we're hoarding close to $1 million. So between that and the grant program, I think we could work together to really help the taxpayers. So please, if you can do that, it'd be great.
It's my pleasure. However, we can sort of leverage that cooperation. I'd be more than happy to do that.
I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so we were on page 117. Any other questions on that page? 118? What, 118? 118, yes.
Object 55210, chargeback vehicle leasing. You see you got a $22,600 leasing. I thought the cars were all going to be under DGS. Any particular reason why you have this in the health department?
They own it?
Yes,
Okay, Bill Collins, jump in, Bill.
That's okay.
The
I
the
defer.
management is centralized in that DGS orders the cars and deals with the residual value and that. But then the accounting is decentralized, so every department gets charged back a cost depending on how many vehicles they're leasing.
Okay, and do we know how many vehicles this is?
No.
And are these sufficient for what you need?
Yes. There's 5 vehicles here. We requested an additional motor and we're approved. We have
So
2.
it's 4 plus 1 now?
Yeah. We have 1 additional employee hired this year, so it's for him. It's out on the road.
And
This
I'm
is an
going to
EHS.
read Nancy's mind, are any of these electric vehicles?
That's not me.
Okay, anyone else on page 118 or 119? And if I forget to ask the public, just raise your hand and, okay.
Jump up and down.
120, 121, 122.
Question on that. It seems like it's a new
What
program.
page?
Oh, I'm sorry, 122.
Okay.
This is a new program this year, and, okay, I'm good. I'm sorry. I thought it was.
It's a breakout of the epidemiology
Okay.
from the health education line, that's all.
Great. Thank you, sorry.
Page 123.
What's
Yes, legislature.
122, contracts. Are we getting into a new contract with someone?
It's the epidemic.
That's even
That's
epidemiologist.
the breakout.
That's the one.
646, yeah.
So that is part of the child chip work. So there is a Sienna contract where we sort of get, supplementary data from. So that's associated with the child chip work.
Thank you.
Okay, page 123. One 124. One 125. And 126. Page 127, I'm just looking at the feral cat program.
Yep.
So revised these two, I don't see anything coming in for this year. Is that, am I missing something here? It says, oh, is it 3,500?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
3,500. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the wrong line.
Okay.
And is that sufficient for the program?
Yes.
It is, because I know there's a lot of people that use that. Yeah. Okay, anyone have any questions or comments on that item? Okay. Moving on to 128, that's early intervention.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. First item, fees. We're expecting less fees next year over this year.
Top 120.
128, top of 128, okay.
First item.
Early intervention fees.
The revenues you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The revised budget was 90,000. Actual was 33. That's what you have.
Yeah, that's because I'm going by actual 24s, we only received 60, so I'm expecting 75,000 from this revenue source. So it's in the middle, yeah.
And what are those fees exactly?
Those are fees, Valerie, you want to explain that?
The revenue?
Yeah,
The-
fees for services, go ahead.
Which one, you mean the monies that we get for the units?
Yes, yes, it's the units.
Okay, so the service coordinators have to call the parents and have to have meetings with the parents, and the state gives us $16 for every 15 minutes that transpires. So then that becomes units, so that's our revenue. And it's probably a little bit off because they started a new program and it took us well over 180 days to build, so we're still trying to catch up from 2024.
Those fees come from the state, not individual people.
Correct.
State, yes.
Anyone else have questions on that page? Anyone from the public? Page 129, continuing the early intervention. Page 129.
I have 128.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 54210 vehicle leasing, now you're showing that as a 0. Is that one of the previous vehicles that was just moved, so the 4+1, that's why you're showing it as a 0? 54210, vehicle leasing rental.
It's a chargeback. It was moved down to 5.5.
Okay, so it was just moved?
Yes.
Okay.
Moved, yeah.
And also I noticed that care at a private institution has gone down significantly. Any explanation for that?
Yep. I think I was here telling you that last year UCP had 10 of our kids, and then they disbanded the program for early intervention, the 02 program.
Okay,
So this, so I put a little in there just in case somebody else picks up the program, and I budgeted for 2 people.
Okay, the last one is 54417, because as I said before, I just hate placeholders. I see that in '24, this line was 60,000. In '25, we budgeted 105. And so far this year, there's only been 37,000 spent, but you're asking for 150,000.
Right. This is, Val, you want to explain this too? Or you want me to? This is because of, they're behind on their billings.
Yes. So the state started this new program, it's the EI Hub, it's absolutely
You don't have to
horrific.
say anymore once you said that.
Yeah, so we couldn't bill for at least 6 months, and we're still trying to catch up. And some of the agencies can't bill either, and that's why a lot of them are closing and increased our capacity issue.
I'm so sorry for you.
Plus, there's more evaluations going
yeah,
on. Yes.
there's more of that too, but
Providers.
yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to page 130. 130, yes. Child adult immunization, travel clinic, vaccines for children program.
Yep.
Any questions on that page? Yes, Legislator Montgomery.
Thanks. Just curious, I see that our actual expenditure for 2025 to date has been over $7,000, yet we're only budgeting for $5,000 in 2026. And, with the concern of vaccines not being, readily accessible and some anxiety about that. And also I understand that some of the vaccination flu distribution for our schools was canceled this year due to short staff. Why aren't we increasing that number? And what's your justification for your requested $5,000?
So you are correct. There were a couple of vaccination clinics we needed to suspend just for the season.
Yes. Sorry.
So we certainly want to bring them back online. Unfortunately, we didn't have the bandwidth in terms of nurses to actually putting injection in arms. Since then, we now have 3 additional nurses that have joined the staff. So we're actually in talks currently to see how we can bring those back. Unfortunately, we're sort of hitting flu season currently, so not the most sort of timely sequence of events, but it's certainly something that we do want to bring back. The consideration here was at the time, we didn't think we were going to be able to fill those spots in time to sort of meet, the flu season. There's also the flu vaccines have now moved from a double dose scenario to a single dose scenario.
Oh, cool.
So there's some savings obviously associated with that as well.
So, in other words, you're happy with the funding? You think that's sufficient?
At the moment,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Until we are able to sort of stand those clinics back up.
Thanks.
Legislator Sage, you had your
Well, I don't know if you want to, I had a question back on the early intervention.
What page?
I'm a little slow, 128. So, on 128, this is the early intervention program. Down the bottom of the page, we're talking about itinerant services. I was under the impression that itinerant, its budget is the same as last year. And I was under the impression that this was going to be a savings. Was I incorrect in assuming that? But with the new program that we have available?
The new program has no effect on early intervention program. It's the pre-K program.
It's the pre-K,
Yeah.
okay.
This is like almost a standalone, it's a 0 to 2.
Okay, so
Child.
this is by itself, the savings was in the previous one that we looked at.
In the pre-K
25.
program.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clear that. Thank you.
I have a question. Are we still doing measles? Do we do measles at all through the county anymore? Because I've had some constituents that came and asked, and I know I called, and there was a little confusion if the county still offers that or not.
So we did sort of open it up just after our measles case here in the county. So, you know, there was a period of time where we opened it up for some particular cohorts, you know, depending on sort of exposure, past risk, your knowledge of vaccination. There's a particular demographic for individuals that may have been vaccinated in the 60s when they were only doing sort of one dosage. So sort of the immunity sort of associated with that particular cohort in that demographic is a lot less. So we were calling for particular demographics and individuals at that time. But we are certainly open to sort of, you know, being able to serve, you know, members in our community if you know, they're in need of one.
And shingles was the other one that
So
people were
shingles,
asking about.
yeah, sorry,
In a
shingles-
certain age group that seniors were concerned about a shingles vaccination, they were asking.
Yeah, that's generally not one that we provide, but if there was certainly enough interest in the community, I mean, that's certainly something we can see about, you know, getting those biologics so that we could make them available, but it's just, you know, traditionally not one that we've offered.
Okay. And Westchester County did it, so they were offering it to Putnam County residents, so just was asking. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Anyone else? Questions, anybody from the public on that? Okay, moving on to 238, page 238 and 239, which is recycling. Any questions or comments on this? Looking at the hazardous waste cleanup. So it's what, 55,000 in 2025? Divided by the now. Okay, so it's basically the same, a little less. So we went from 20,000 in 2024. We're looking at a line 434896.
What are you looking at, the revenues?
On page, yes, I'm looking at the revenue. Page 238,
I don't have.
hazardous waste cleanup.
Yeah, we have to get to that page.
Okay.
Thank you, Steph.
434896.
That's expensive. We do 2 cleanups. 896.
Yep. And your question is?
My question is, it went from 20,000, and now it's at 55, it was 55. I'm just wondering why.
Well, that's for 2 cleanup days.
2 cleanups?
Yeah.
Okay. And was, in 2024, it was 1?
1.
Okay. That makes sense. Anyone else have any questions? Anybody from the public? Okay. Page 239. Okay. I'm going to go to the youth program on page 221. I'm going to skip around all around this.
Okay. I think we're done, right?
Yeah, legislative rules, you might have questions.
Okay.
Thank you. The fourth item down, temporary. We're not projecting a temporary person this year.
What page?
I'm sorry, 221.
Oh,
We're not there yet.
department.
What?
It's not their department.
That's not their department, the
That's
next person coming up.
That's the youth program.
That's what we're on, right?
It's up here.
I'm sorry. 221?
No, second.
We're good?
Yeah, you're good. You're
All
released.
right.
You're released.
Thank you. Thank you for the release.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for
Yeah.
everything.
Baseball game.
No game tonight. tomorrow night, that's right. Take care.
All in your papers, everything. I mean, you're very quiet, I forgot you're here. With your flamingo. I still look at your It's still different. It's different. I'm coming up with AIM. It's AIME.
I'll bring it up.
This is strawberry wine.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we are on page 221 to 226.
May I just ask if we please start with the Youth Bureau so that
Sure,
Janine
yes.
can...
Okay.
Thank you.
You're usually.
She is usually
She's earned her position here.
So does anybody have any questions or comments on page 221 to 226? That's the
Let's
youth
let it.
program. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll answer again. The right person. Fourth item down, temporary. Are we not expecting any temporary people this year?
So that is under our youth court program, so we have moved that money out of the line.
So it's in a different line now?
It's in a different line, so with our relocation to Tilly, we are looking to expand some programming, so we have put that, some of the temporary money under the Youth Bureau.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, that's it.
I'm skipping to page 223, 438201, state aid youth
Page by
programs. Looks like the state is not giving us as much.
So, just tell me again what page?
223.
Through the chair.
Yeah,
Can we go page by page?
You had a question on page 221?
I haven't even,
You do, okay. Can we just?
Sure.
Okay.
Rewind.
Back up and
I put it in.
Legislator Crowley, you have a question on page 221.
So printing in forms, I wanted to ask, 222. I wanted to ask, yes, printing in forms, for 15,000?
That is under our highway safety grant.
Okay.
Which is 100% fully reimbursed by the
perfect.
state. So
Okay.
that's for the paddock booklets, the Parents of Driving Partners booklets, that we partner with the Department of Motor Vehicles when a youth goes to get their permit with their parent.
Great.
So that's what that is. So, but like I said, it's 100% fully reimbursed.
Thank you.
Very good.
And it's
Anyone
we reduced it too.
I saw that too,
Yes,
but
yeah.
that's wonderful. But
Anyone else have any questions on page 222?
Legislator?
Yes.
Thank you. The fourth item down, education and training. Are we doing anything additional next year?
That is your. I just
Went
wanted
from
to see.
3,000 this year to...
Oh, yeah, okay, so, so the state line and our lines are different through the grant. So that is if we wanted to take any youth with us on, so last year, we were fortunate that we were able to have some youth help present at a conference in Lake Placid. So that is for if we're taking any youth with us that we put in that one line.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on to page 223, Legislator Elmer.
Yes, going back to 438-201, seems like the state's not cooperating. Is that correct? Because I'm seeing here, there's what we budgeted for last year versus what we've gotten in, seems to be a lot less. So is there anything we can do to help?
Just tell me what page, please.
223, 1, 2, 3, fourth item down, state aid youth programs.
So, so that, the 99,398,
Yes.
that money, so that is, we just received our allocation from the state. So that is the amount that we will now be putting into, one more down, coordinated youth.
No, you
that's
were
right.
there.
Okay.
I was looking at the actual,
Yeah, it's for-
the actual is only 17,891, so basically what I'm saying, is there any help we can give you? Because it seems that the state is not releasing funds.
So so the 99,000 is for our youth development program that we receive funding from Office of Children and Family Services. So that we're going to be allocating, so we had to do an RFP to put, so programs submitted their, what they were going to be asking money for. So now we're going to be allocating with my youth board who's going to be getting what allocation. So that's what we did last year too. We put all our OCFS funding into the one line, and now we'll be shifting it into the right lines.
Anyone else have any questions? Yes, legislator.
So the next item down, coordinator youth, that's going to be absorbed in the
So,
one
right,
above
so
that?
that, that money that we were putting towards coordinated youth is in is in our YDP, or Youth Development Program, funding that we get from the state. So we put it all in the one line, which says state aid youth programs, and then we'll be putting
You
into the.
consolidate.
And a school-based one?
Exactly, yep,
Okay.
right. So
Got
some of the
you.
ones that have zeros, it's
Yeah.
not that we're not getting the funding for them, we are, we're just.
It's a different line, that's right.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other legislators? Anybody from the public on those items? Okay, so we're going to move on to page 224 and 225. Any questions? 226?
Can I go back to 223 for a sec?
223?
Yep, sorry. 438623. So we budgeted for
Opera House?
69,000, and we actually used last year 34,000. Is there a decrease in people that are going and using this facility?
So that is the allocation we get from the state. So
Okay.
for the runaway and homeless youth program, we get 99,355. And so then what we do is we keep 10% administration because we have to have an RHY coordinator. So my deputy youth bureau director, part of her salary gets 10%. And then we're giving towards the TLP, the Transitional Living Program, we're giving the 20,181. And then Arbor House is getting the 69,238.50. So that's how we are breaking it up for that program.
Okay, so the 34,000 that was actually, even though it was budgeted last year for 69,000, we actually only used 34,000, is what I'm saying.
So
Is there
far.
a
So far.
Okay.
So far, right.
Okay.
Yeah, so we still.
So you anticipate, I guess my
Yes.
question is it not being used as much as it has been in the past?
I believe it's being used. We get weekly reports from them. They tell us, how many are in the Arbor House shelter and how many youth are in the TLP program. So we do receive weekly reports from them, and then that's their allocation that they receive from the state. That since they're the only runaway shelter in the county, that's the allocation that we get from OCFS to funnel it through to that program.
No, I think it's great. I just want to make sure, I wanted to see if the numbers were down or up.
Yes, no, they're still, they're pretty consistent.
It would be nice if they were down.
I know.
And all, sorry.
Go ahead.
All of that is just pass-through money we
Right.
get,
Mhm.
and it never goes up, even though the expenses go up.
Right, yeah, they give us the allocation, and then we base it on how many youth are we've seen in the TLP and how many are in Arbor House, and that's how we kind of.
You draw down.
Right, we figure out how much they should get for those two different programs.
Okay. Anyone else? Anybody from the public? Okay, page 226. Nothing on that. Okay, then we're going to move on to mental health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So page 56 and 57.
You got two big ones.
Sarah Sergio and
Yes.
Mrs. Warner.
Hi, thank you.
Okay. I don't see anything here on this page that stands out. Page 56 and 57. Anyone have any questions on those pages?
Just causing a ruckus, sorry.
Yep, there we go. Sarah, you're moving your chair.
No questions on those two pages from anybody? Anybody? Okay. So we're going to move on to substance abuse, page 131. Oh, it's the biggest ability. You have different numbers there, probably. Yeah. Okay,
4230.
Yes, thank you.
Any questions on page 131 from anyone? Comments? Page 132, alcohol and substance abuse. No questions, comments? Then we go on to pages 133, mental health administration, to 140.
Legislative?
Yes.
Thank you. The fifth item down, furniture and furnishings, we doing anything different this year? Does it increase?
That's on page 133.
That's 133.
4310.
133, I'm sorry. 4,150.
Yes, we increased slightly due to furniture replacement for the children's SPOA coordinator, who has dismantled furniture that needs to be replaced.
We don't have nothing internally we could use? I guess, okay, that's fine. Sorry.
Anyone have any questions on that page? Okay, moving on to page 134. I don't want to skip over, I'm just going to, yes, let's,
Thank you. Vehicle leasing, rental, is that going under the different,
Yes.
Yes, it goes under the chargeback vehicle leasing.
thank you.
Yeah, this is more of a question for Bill. And Bill, I know you explained it a few moments ago. You spoke of different treatment, and I'm just speaking generally about vehicle leasings throughout the county budget and the chargeback system. You said it's treated differently from an accounting standpoint and from a budgetary standpoint, I think you said?
Management.
Management standpoint.
Yes.
So, and I do know John Tully gave an explanation last week. I wasn't here for that. And I'm going to look at the video, but can you just go a bit more?
Sure.
I'm sorry to take your time for that. But
The genesis goes back to certain departments were getting charged back. There was revenue involved and others weren't.
Right.
So it was very confusing. It was a hodgepodge, if you will. So we decided that, the board is always talking about cost allocation and transparency. So we've allocated now to each department's budget, whether there is revenue or not, the cost in a chargeback. But the total cost is also in DGS. So they have an idea of the total bill. They do the bidding for all the cars. They do the management for all the cars in terms of when to turn them in for residual value. So they manage the fleet there, and then they charge it out to each department over there.
And I know during previous budget times, when we have discussions about vehicles and whatnot, there was almost like a department by department discussion of why do you need 2 vehicles, or why aren't you asking for any? I'm just wondering, and maybe this is something that...
And that was had this year with the departments and...
Right, no, I don't doubt that, but it was had in the executive side of the hallway. We used to have those same discussions here in the legislative side as well. And, we've just passed a lot of resolutions, and again, we just passed a lot of resolutions about transparency, so and maybe this will come up during audit with respect to the DGS department, but
Sure.
How do we manage transparency on this? I know if there's any fund transfers between departments, it has to come through to so for instance, let's suppose DSS wanted 4 vehicles, and it's in the budget right now for 4, let's say. But then next year, they don't get all 4, and maybe another department gets 3 when they only ask for 1.
John, I know what you're asking,
Yeah, okay.
and that is a question for John, but he hasn't broken down. So it's not like one department could overuse their allocation and all of a sudden there's nothing left for anybody else. It doesn't work that way. He has a system to prevent that.
Right. And I'll move on from this. Maybe in the audit committee meeting, Amy, we can discuss, and Bill, with your input as well. You know how we have legislative oversight anytime there's a change in personnel lines? Whether it's a penny or $10 million, that still has to come through audit. Maybe we should look into anytime there's any difference between the budget as approved with respect to vehicles or vehicle chargebacks. Anytime there's a change in that, similar to, for any amount, similar to our personnel requirement, we could do that. And that's just food for thought to the legislators. And so, okay, because I don't want us to miss out on the public discussions we used to have about vehicles. As you remember, it used to be a very hot topic many years ago. It's probably lessened that now. And I see we're doing the same thing with the cell phones. They weren't around when I was starting out. So
Cell phones?
well, I've been here. Well, to the county employees.
When Dan and I started, we were amongst with scrolls.
Yeah, well, seriously, in the 90s, we didn't. No county employee had cell phones.
There were no cell phones.
Yeah. So yeah, true. All right, thanks. And I'm sorry to take the PSS time on that.
We just need the air on for 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, just along those lines, so I'm looking at the vehicle leasing rental. This is for, let's see, 4310, which has been zeroed out from last year, which was budgeted 12,402. And now that is in a chargeback vehicle leasing line on the bottom of the page in the amount of $15,100. And how do we know how much of that is attached to a grant? Would we know that?
For mental health,
Yeah.
our vehicles are not tied to any grants.
Okay.
There's 2 vehicles that are in that 15,100 number.
And is that the same as from last year, 2 vehicles?
I think we just got our second vehicle. It was a +1 in 2025. We just received it maybe a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So that might be what that difference is,
Okay,
not the
that's
full
reason for
year.
3,000.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Question to Bill Garland. That vehicle line, does that include insurance?
No, that's just the leasing. The insurance is covered. We're self-insured.
Thank you.
I believe, vehicle.
Yeah, on that same line, page 134, chargeback vehicle leasing. You said that was for 2 vehicles?
Is that the 15,100?
Yeah, 15,100.
Yes.
For 2 vehicles, it's say 7,500 each. Divide that by 12. We lease each car for $3,700 a month. Maybe I'm doing. Maybe I'm not doing. Maybe I'm not doing farmer math here. Hang on.
You got the decimal like I did.
Oh, did I move the decimal?
I'm now an expert.
Okay.
370 for me.
All right. No. It's all right. 370 something. Okay. Good. All right. I just misplaced the decimal. Okay. You're right. It couldn't be that. Right. Okay. Didn't want you to be lonely, Craig. I mean, that's
The farmers have educated me.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy.
Page 134, account 950, third line from the bottom, county contribution. I see that the requested amount was $1,596,750, and the tentative contribution is $1,078,550. So that's a difference of over $500,000. So what are you not getting?
$518,200.
Wow, you really rattled that off.
Over $500,000.
Yes, it is. And it's.
So I'm
Can you give me a
asking,
second? Yeah, so I think that
Commissioner of
we had-
Social Services.
What she did or what we did?
What is she not getting?
We had
What is her
used
department?
25 numbers. This is the 730.
Okay.
The competency, the restoration that we have to do. We used numbers from this year to estimate what we needed for last year, or I'm sorry, for next year.
So we estimated approximately 3 placements based off of the trend that we were seeing when we put together the budget.
And that's what you requested?
I requested 3 placements, yes. And I think you may recall during the year, we usually come back because we don't have enough.
Right, and we're still not funding it, is what I'm seeing.
Well, we are funding it. We're funding it at 2 FTEs, and that's over $1 million still. But they, to rephrase what you said, it's not that they're not receiving it. Whatever the 730 number is, the 730 number is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, what estimate are you going to go with? Are you going to go with 3? This is just 3 full-time equivalents for 365 days a year, which was the 1.5 million, or we went down to 2.
That's right.
And right now, there was 1, so if you want to up the estimate and add 518,200, you can do that.
What's been our history?
What's
What's the trend?
Yeah, we're not really seeing trends, unfortunately, because
It's all up and
one
down,
day,
up and down, up and
1
down.
month we could have none, the next month we could have 4. So at the time that our budget was submitted, we had 3. So those were the numbers that we used.
But I think historically, have we hit 1 million?
Oh, yeah. Since my time, yes.
But have we hit 1.5?
This year's
Not
not
last year.
looking right.
No, I don't think so.
So essentially, right now, there's not trends, and we haven't gone up that far, so you would be good right now, and then you could essentially come back to us if you needed that third LTE with.
They had to come back.
Yeah, we have to come back.
The past 2 years.
Right now, for example, we have 8 pending 730 competency waiting for
Gotcha.
placement. 8, and that's a
Oh,
lot
wow.
for Putnam, so it's hard to say, but we came back
Right.
this year, yeah.
And you don't know the length of stay. Could be a
Right.
week, could be a year,
Could be more than
could be a
a year.
day,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it could be 8 tomorrow, but 1 today. It's one of those things you just don't know.
No, right,
We'll
yeah.
just find ourselves.
And as far as placement, where do we have for placement? Is there anywhere, there's nowhere in Putnam,
No, it's the state forensic hospitals.
So
The one we utilize
obviously-
is Mid-Hudson
Mid-Hudson, okay.
Forensic.
So I was just seeing if there were different places with different pricing and variations.
Same price.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all dictated by the state too, so every year they come down with the new rates and we're notified of next year's rates.
And there's available beds and all of those things when it's needed for 730s? Okay.
Mrs. Montgomery?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. And I just would imagine, just from what we hear on the news and what I see in the current situation in society, that we're going to be seeing more of them, is my guess. So, and the time that it takes for the social service commissioner and her staff to come to these meetings to request more, which they've had to do for the past 2 years, I'm not sure why we're not funding it. That's all. I'm just advocating for appropriate funding for a trend. I know we're not it's not a trend, obviously, you said that. I am trying to be efficient. I'm trying to be efficient with time. I know how hard you guys work in our social service department and our health department. I feel like are overworked and just trying to save time. Because I'm sure you're going to come back to us. That's my prediction in my crystal ball. Which I don't have, so whatever
And if the
everybody
money,
wants to do.
So Bill, if we put the money, if we allocated more money and it wasn't used,
You'd
Falls out.
have,
right?
It'll fall
So
out.
there's no
it'll
harm.
fall
There's
back.
no harm. in
Well,
doing it.
no, there's harm, you're telling the taxpayers we're taking
Right,
$500,000 more this year.
Unless it
If
comes
they
from
don't
fund
use it.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that too?
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there.
Mhm.
I don't know yet what I would do with it. I'm looking at it
Something to
in a
think
way
about.
that I want to save you guys time, and I don't want to sit through it again. We've sat through it for 2 years in a row, and I guess it's good for us to sit through it because we're aware of like what you're actually doing, and that's a really hard thing to hear, that we do have 730s. I don't know if the public knows what a 730 is, but it is, what is a 730?
When someone commits a crime, one of their attorney or the criminal court attorneys or the judge can request a competency exam to ensure that the individual understands the charges brought against them. When they fail that exam, they are placed in a state hospital for what we call restoration until they can understand the charges. So certain misdemeanors go to a state hospital. In Rockland, felony level goes to the forensic hospital. So
I hope we don't have any.
so do I.
And we do give reports too on the services that are being provided to get them to the restoration levels.
Legislator Crowley.
I was going to ask, I know you don't see trends, but we have put together certain teams now where we might be able to start seeing trends, and again, a stabilization center would love to see it, can't wait to see it. I know that there's something in the budget too about is there an EMT that's going to be countywide kind of para-transportation, and that's paramedicine that's in here too, that could also assist. But I think, you know, some of these things that we're adding to the budget that services the TAM team, the CRT team, I mean, I worked with you guys on certain things, but can you see trends in people, and are you able to see any sort of downturn in certain
The downturn,
phrases?
yeah, the downturn in the 730s, we won't see. I think partly because of the education amongst the attorneys and the judges at the state level. So, you know, judge to judge, and people are more aware that they have that option, in my opinion. So we're getting a lot more requests. Really, the charge is what dictates where they're going to go to receive that competency. So we're not paying for the misdemeanor at the state hospital in Rockland. It's just the felony level.
I was just thinking if maybe with all of these new things that we've implemented throughout the county, if there was, you know, maybe less crimes being committed because there are teams that are intervening and things that are going to be, you know, I'd like to see with the new program to, you know, see if it does.
Yeah,
kind of,
like preventive.
Yeah, prevent, exactly. I mean, you know, that's what I'd like to see.
No. Anybody, anyone else? Any other comments?
No,
Anybody
just
from the
the
public? Comments on? We're going to go to 135, 136, 137. Legislator Browning?
On 137, the CRT team. Federal aid.
Is that
444,900.
Yeah. Middle of the page.
Yep. That grant is coming to an end. We were able to extend it 6 months into 26, so they're letting us use the money into June of 2026.
That's for both positions, or
That's
one?
just for the mental health
Just the
position.
mental health position, and then what is, so this is only going to get us till June, this amount
Correct.
here. So what happens after June?
Opiate abatement money will be covering her, right?
We put in here for county
Oh, that's
taxation,
her.
but we could always shift.
So this is not going to be a discontinuation of this position?
We hope not.
and-
We don't want there to be, yes, but we do need to continue with Katie's salary after June.
Can't say names.
Oh, yeah, you're.
But, no, I think it's
What's the
a critical, it's a critical team, and I just wanted to understand what's going on with it. And then I have a same question for the CRT team down on the bottom. With the grants, and is that the same situation? Is that going to expire?
Which one?
Oh, sorry, TAM, after that.
TAM.
Yes, I apologize. So that's on 139, that's 43089. That's on page 139.
That,
Lost Teams New York.
It's $50,000. That was the,
So this is a grant that we put in full, and whatever's not used is rolled over through the grant rollover process in the AP listing at the end of the year. So that's why you'll see
yeah, and
zero.
we had gone through the process with you guys to talk about an electronic record system. It's still sitting there and it's still available. We just have to get to it, but it's still there. That's what that 50 is.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? Page 139 and page 140. Anyone from the public? Moving on to page 141, mental health services. Any questions on page 141? 142? 143?
This is all pass-through money that's
Yes.
going to our provider agencies.
144. 145. Questions? Legislator Crowley.
On the mobile crisis.
What
Where
page?
is that? Sorry, 145.
Yep.
It's zeroed out. Is that for any specific reason? We were at 150,000 and now we're zeroed out.
This was a 2-year grant from the state.
So we've lost it and
No,
it's
just-
expired.
They're just not providing any additional funding. It was kind of a startup seed money to get
Okay.
them off the ground. It was $600,000, so they did 150 in the back end of '24, 300 for all of, or I'm sorry, '23. All of 2024 was 300,000, and then 150 for the beginning half of this year.
Okay, so essentially it's going to continue, mobile crisis is still going to continue.
Under People USA, yes.
Okay, just making sure that these important mental health mental health services are still being funded and you're being creative about it.
Yes.
And being able to accomplish that because it is necessary. Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to social services, page 150 to 164. Yes.
Page 150, eight down, office supplies, you're projecting double this next year? Office supplies?
A lot of the office supplies you'll see is going up due to the prices of the toner has become
Price
so
of what?
expensive. And
Printer toner.
printer toner. That's the main driver of a lot of the office supplies you'll see in
Yeah.
social services.
Legislature, admin.
Legislature, yeah.
Oh, okay. Isn't that going to be a chargeback though, toner?
Uh,
Wouldn't toner be a chargeback?
I don't believe toner is, copier leases are.
The lease of the copier, I believe, is
So
a
toner
chargeback.
wouldn't be? I thought that was like part of the yield so that everybody doesn't have to buy all the.
No, things that are gotten through Staples are not being charged back, is that correct?
Right, and the toner's be a printer, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Right, so the printer's different than the copier. The
Yes.
copier toner is separate than the printer.
That won't be part of the chargeback, at least in
So
round one.
printer ink is not charged back. Toner for the copier is charged back.
No, I don't think we pay for the toner. I think it just comes with the lease. The lease is charged back, the copier lease.
It's part of the contractual agreement, the toner on the
Consumables
copiers.
tend not to be.
Right.
Okay. Just trying to understand where everything's falling. Sorry for my questions.
No, not one.
Page 151. 152. 153.
What's that?
Yes.
Item number 4 on 153, contracts. Are we going into an additional contract with someone?
5646. So this is in addition, this year we used ARPA funds that were allocated to our APS unit for representative payee services. That allocation expired this year, so we're looking to fund that for 2026. We currently have about 25 rep payee cases, and they're each approximately $42 a month, versus one FTE that was currently doing this work that we've kind of pivoted and given her additional responsibilities elsewhere in the fiscal unit.
Thank you. Anyone else?
And the subcontracts has substantially decreased the line right under it. That line's decreased from 2025 as well.
We need to talk about that. Should we talk about it here?
Is
So
it
personnel?
It affects
Or is
the
it-
personnel services,
Okay.
so,
It's the daycare.
yeah,
Okay.
child care counselor.
So let's just talk briefly about what's happening in daycare. So New York State reduced the parent share to qualify for subsidized daycare. So we're getting many more families that qualify for the subsidized daycare. For us in Putnam County, we had to close new cases for the subsidized daycare for the rest of the year, 2025. We'll have to take a look at what 2026 is going to bring, but just like the rest of the state, we were kind of forced to because we don't have any more money, so.
There was a buildup of money during COVID because those services weren't being used. And then, so they were letting us use a rollover over and over again, so now that has ended, and we're just given the initial allocation. So this line here is for the subsidized daycare workers that we currently contract out with, to a vendor, that we're looking to bring in-house. So you'll see the personal services increase when we get to that piece, but then this will go down.
And we'll talk to you about that next week.
It's kind of like a to be continued.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Here is a there.
So personnel
Touching
versus
both.
services, so we're talking programs here, not in personnel. Is there gonna be a lapse in programming? Is there gonna be a decrease in programming? Are we gonna lose some programming because of the decrease in the state funding?
It's not necessary, say it a different way, because
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a program. So we are unable to accommodate families right now for the rest of 2025 due to the funding that has run out.
Mhm.
So we're expecting when are we expecting more?
Our allocation opened up on October 1st.
It's new fiscal year.
Right, so each case has a one-year recert date. So as those are coming up for renewal, it's hard for us to project when that is going to exhaust based off of, children coming off or when the actual recert date is. So we're carrying over about $350,000 for the rollover, and we were given another $800,000 for the current allocation. So we're just trying to track that and see when that will exhaust.
It's 169 children that received.
How did you, so how many did you have to turn away, did you say?
We just went to a denial 2 weeks ago, so.
September 15th.
And what's the approximate, I mean, I hate to see this in Putnam County, like, how are we turning people away here? It's.
We all know that childcare is the crisis of the decade.
So I think we should be doing more to help. That's, yeah.
Was this pass-through money that was federal that came through the state and, no, it's directly from the state?
OCFS.
It is OCFS.
So there's a couple factors too that have kind of driven the surplus of, cases that were opened, including relaxing the eligibility requirements.
So it's been easier to get in.
Easier. Parents also used to contribute up to 10%, now they're only contributing 1%.
But yet, and then providers, obviously, it's much more expensive. They're only getting a small cost compared to, right? If there's certain providers for those kids, they're getting a smaller share than they would for, let's say, somebody who didn't qualify for that program, and they still have to overhead.
I know
Right?
the rates are, I'm not sure.
I think the rates are less. Yeah, they're less. So they have overhead that they have to, they take a certain amount of kids, so the overhead kind of isn't meeting in the middle. So it's hard to, what I've heard from providers, it's hard to stay afloat with the whole kind of separation.
This won't affect cases that come into our Child Protective Services unit, our foster care unit. We'll still be able to provide daycare for safety and resources for them. Unfortunately, the others in the public.
Any other questions from legislators? Anyone from the public?
Thank you for
Please come
that.
up.
So the money for this comes from the state? So when you say the funding's run out, and that's why we've had to turn families away, that's because the funding from whom has been spent?
The state.
From the state?
OCFS.
Office for Children and Family Services.
Okay, and then we are expecting more funding from the state, and once that funding hits, we can then reopen.
It's a wait list right now, correct?
We're
It's
not
not a
running on a wait
denial?
list, we're running on a denial.
Why aren't we running on a wait list? Sorry, through the chair. Why aren't we running on a wait list? Why is that not something that we're offering? I'm sorry.
No, we've thought a lot about that, and quite honestly, we're following what we're most comfortable with right now. So we are not going to be forgetting about these families. We know who they are, we know they need daycare. when we're able to provide daycare service, subsidized daycare again, we will be doing the same thing we did when we let the families know that we could no longer pay for them to go. And we're going to be reaching out to them. So we know who has applied, who has been denied.
So I guess my question is then, if you're not doing a wait list and you know who's applied, I mean, it's kind of like HUD, when it runs out, you know, they're waitlisted and they're in a certain order. So do you have a specific order? Do you have a mechanism that is guiding this? Because I'm confused, and as a parent, I would be confused as to how you're working this out. Like, if it's just in a denial, then how do I know when I'm up next? Or, you know, how does that work?
Well, you wouldn't.
Right, so that's my question. How does it work that way if there's not a wait list?
Yeah, but, excuse me, there's nothing that she can do.
No, I understand I understand
What can
that.
we do? What can
Well,
we
I
do?
know.
There's no
County.
funding.
No, I mean, but
They need funding.
procedurally, I guess I'm asking to make parents understand, like, I'm looking at it much like HUD, right? When there's only so much funds that are allocated for HUD, correct? I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I understand the funds run out, but then there are people that are going to age out of this. There are people that might move. There might be different circumstances that happen. So I guess what I'm asking is there are terms that may make somebody else eligible. How do you determine who that next person is?
We've asked all these questions with OCFS, like someone who makes a lower salary, can they be moved to the top of the list? And they said absolutely not. Just reading you, New York State reduced the parent share of costs to 1%. Previously, parents were responsible for up to 10%. Now, New York State now authorizes providers to submit up to 80 absences. So all these requirements that change from the state is now coming down on us and from OCFS. And this is new. This letter just went out September 10th. So it's kind of new to us and how we're going to navigate it. And we talked and we thought denial would be the best.
Yeah, and when we come back next week to personnel, we will be talking to you specifically about daycare and the positions. It's currently being contracted out. We are going to be talking to you about taking that back under DSS's oversight. Because we have no oversight over the staff right now.
Mm-hmm.
When it hopefully is under social services, we will be able to have some more creativity with how we're addressing it. Right now, the biggest thing was getting families the information that they weren't going to be having the funding available.
Do you have a comment?
Yeah. Okay, so the state funding has run out. It sounds like is this happening in other counties too, I would assume, right?
Yes.
This has to be a statewide crisis.
Yes.
Okay, so that was just my main question. This is a lot of, the state has allocated money, that money has run out. This is not just a Putnam County problem,
Right.
but I would love to, and I'm looking forward to the personnel meeting to kind of hear about this. It sounds like you guys have some sort of a solution worked out, which
I don't know about that.
so it's
but
a little strong, okay.
We are.
But this is a problem.
They're working on
This
it.
is an ongoing issue
Yeah.
that does require some level of a solution. I'd love to know at the county level what we can do, because clearly there's an issue, we're denying families. And that's not something these guys want to be doing, but that's what we're doing because we have to. So again, will throw the number out there, $90 million fund balance.
Mhm.
So just, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We are on.
We want you to ask the questions.
Page 153, I'm just lost my place.
153.
Yes. Okay, moving on to page 154. 155. 156. 157. It's not any questions on pages. 158. Everything's pretty straightforward here, so. 159. 160. 161. 162. 163.
I have a question. Thank you. On 163, it's the warming centers.
Yes.
Is that the code blue money? or
That's,
is-
yes,
It is.
that's,
And we have a contract line there, the 4646 line.
yes.
It is for the 25 budget, it was 161, it's going up a little bit in 26 to 170. Is this a program that also Brewster Cares contracts with? It is?
Yes,
Okay,
it's the
perfect.
Brewster Cares contract.
Is there, I know the state, to their credit, has been, coming down and looking at all, some of these programs throughout the state. And is there a different method of calculation as to how many months an organization like Brewster Cares is allowed to contract or to make requisitions? It was my understanding they made a requisition, well, I shouldn't say that. Are they limited to, is that an organization such as that limited to the number of requisitions they can make? In other words, are they allowed to request funds in July?
No, so our
Okay.
allocation has been moved, so now it's July 1st through June 30th.
Okay.
But it usually coincides with the Code Blue season.
Right.
To open the warming shelter when there's, is it 3 consecutive days under 32 degrees?
Right.
So they could request, as part of their budget, maybe some funding to kind of get them what they need to get going in the earlier months.
We have asked, for example, maybe an earlier start to the season. And sometimes in years past, we've had to ask for them to stay open a little bit longer due to the weather and the temperature. So
Right.
they have to submit
Vouchers.
their vouchers
Yes.
and their claims by a certain date, though, and the state dictates that.
Has that always been the case, or has the state just been policing that recently?
I can't really speak to
Okay.
that.
I guess what I'm kind of roundabout asking, is there a way that because there is a, we have a mandate to take care of, vulnerable people, and Brewster Cares obviously is in Brewster, and that's my district, not that we should be selfish about it, but I do see there is a need there in my district. It's one of the poorer census tracts that we have in a very rich county. And this is really a policy question, not an administration question from your end, but I'm wondering if there could be something for us to think about, the 9 of us, about maybe increasing some money in this. Now, full disclosure, I volunteered for Brewster Cares. I'm not on their board, but I volunteered for them, and I see the good that they do, and I see the people they're helping. And I'm wondering if there's a way we could, and maybe this is for budget and finance, if this committee doesn't want to do it, to increase the contract line and to create a program, I guess, to help them throughout the year, because it's just not only the warming centers that are important. We had, when I was during my previous service on this county legislature, we had 3 men die in the woods. They froze to death, and right in one of the most richest counties in America. And certainly that's where Code Blue comes in. It's Code Blue if the temperatures go below a certain amount. But I'm wondering, and I might make a motion, because I'm not on this committee, during the budget and finance, to put some money in the 4646 line there to create a program that would help an organization like Brewster Cares throughout the year, because they do social services. And again, they're a contract agency. We talked about this a lot. They're not typically what we call the outside agencies, which are through the Rules Committee. But it's a needed program, I think, to help them throughout the year. So I'll remember that in the Budget and Finance Committee.
Because not only do they help through the winter months, they also offer cooling centers and
They do.
help throughout the summer
Which is
as well.
just as important.
Yeah. So food for thought. I'll revisit that during Budget and Finance. And I hate to ask you, would you mind? I'll talk to you. Maybe we could work up on some sort of program for that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, I have a question on the bottom of 163, unclassified.
Revenues?
Yeah, 427,701.
Those are just miscellaneous revenues you get.
We're not asking for anything for 2020.
That's
That's
revenue.
revenue.
That's so what was that used for? If you could just...
I don't have the specifics as to what exactly is driven into that number, but I can get that to you.
Okay, because it was 18,000 in 2024, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That might be something that was
Right, and
a one-off.
What's that?
It might have been something that was a one-off that was in
Yeah,
24
okay.
before I came on. I could check into that.
Okay, moving on to page 164. Questions, comments, public? 165 is daycare. Okay, 160.
Can I just make another
Yes.
comment about daycare?
Yes.
I just in a quick article there. It is due to a $1 billion cut in the federal government budget, a one-time grant that they had in 2025. But we can expect further cuts with the one big beautiful bill in a time when we are at a health childcare crisis. People are in way more need for childcare, so it's going to be expect more.
166. 167 is Medicaid to state. 168. It's medical assistance.
Sometimes.
169.
Can we go,
Any questions on 169?
168, sure.
168, questions?
Yeah, for miscellaneous, or I'm sorry, yeah,
Medical?
miscellaneous, yeah,
Uh-huh.
the 20,000, what is, just to refresh my memory, what are we using miscellaneous in 54989?
just give me 1 second to
Mhm.
find that.
Because we didn't use anything last year, and it looks like we put 20,000 in 2025.
I believe that's for.
Did it carry
Did
over?
it carry over, and what is it for?
Yes, that's what that
Okay.
was.
We assisted a family with outfitting their vehicle to support their, a loved one.
Yep.
Thank you. Page 169. Page 170. We have the Committee on Special Ed, that's special education. There's a substantial increase.
Yes.
That's 54114.
Yes, so our placements rose from 10 to 16. That's the main driver, and we do receive revenue back from the local districts at 56.8%. So you'll also see that the revenue partially offsets that big increase.
Okay,
That's gone up as well.
The revenue
Yeah,
did, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's good.
It's like 700,000.
Yeah, well, some good news.
I didn't mess with that estimate.
No, you didn't, Bill.
I actually agreed with them.
Questions or comments on 170? Public? Questions? Page 171. That's PINs. Any questions on that page? Page 172, training schools, state training school. Page 173, safety net.
Legislature.
I'm sorry, I'm still on
Yes.
171. I just, JD, yeah, sorry,
Okay.
I apologize. JD repayments,
Top of the
what,
page.
what happened there that it's just not happening anymore?
Are you seeing the decrease from 107 to 94?
418231?
Top of the page.
Yeah, what,
3-1.
it looks like JD repayment, so are we, was it something we charged for at one point? Is it? Yeah, it went from 2307 to 0 to 0 to $50 to 0
We
to
get
0.
that's revenue.
Yeah,
I don't think I follow such.
so budget line 418,
Yeah.
231.
Yes.
It's up. We gotta get back to you on that.
So you don't know what that is?
No.
No, that, the 2024 number of 2,300 was before my time, but I can get you that.
It's only $50.
I know, I just wanted to know what it was, like if
We'll
it was
find out.
418231.
something, what changed.
Mm-hmm, I can get that to you.
Page 172, the training school. Care State Training School, 173. Safety net. Questions on that page? I'm going to skip to 175. It's emergency aid, emergency aid for adults. So it looks like we only used 21, but you are anticipating.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the same amount, this is.
The 20,000, yes.
Okay, 176, that's Putnam Workforce Partnership. And that's insists in obtaining employment, right? Job training.
Yes. It's the VOA equipment.
Job development. And that was adjusted, I see.
Fringe.
Okay.
Fringe was a big
Okay.
piece. So you'll see the bottom
Fringe,
line.
okay.
Yes, so you'll see the bottom line is 0.
Yes.
So that was adjusted due to the fringe rates were adjusted.
Okay. That was my question. 177, this is DSS grants, and I have a question on the safe harbor. So, just so people know, I'm just, because that's very important, supporting the youth who are victims of commercial sexual exploitation and human trafficking.
Yes.
And I know they've come here and spoke several times, but it's 30,000, so it looks like it went down to 8,000?
It's just actually
7,999?
State.
That's the actual, so we put this in when the allocation comes down from the state through a budgetary amendment. So we put that, there's a few of these with the project codes that you'll see it's 0, but once the allocation comes
Okay.
down, we put it in at that point.
You're expecting 30,000 again?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been flat for
It's
quite
always
some time.
been, stays the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Chairwoman?
Yes.
Can I go back to 176,
Yes.
line 54783, licensing and accessories? You budgeted for 2025 for almost 6,000. You didn't use anything, and we budgeted again. So what licensing and accessories are we thinking that we're going to use?
Oh, this is the programming that they use at the employment and training. I don't
What
know
program?
why this is.
The workforce?
Yes.
So that's not the right spot.
This is.
This is in the right
Is
spot.
it?
So this is
Okay.
69.
So this is an online tutorial subscription, and it was moved from software accessories to licensing accessories at the request of auditor.
Okay. Yeah, on the top of the page, there's Putnam Workforce, that falls under that.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
page 1.
So we didn't use that last year then? At all?
We did, it was
So it was
just in a
carried
different
over?
place, right?
I don't think that they, I think.
Oh,
they
probably
were trying to
haven't.
get that.
So that's my question.
Yeah.
They did.
No, they didn't use it last year. So that's my question. Was it carried over, or was it a different budget line?
We will let you know. 54783.
Okay, so then can we table that one till we get back? Chairwoman
Yes.
Anizio? And then she can come back with
Well,
information?
We're not approving it tonight.
54783.
We don't have to table anything, right? So.
We'll get you the
We'll talk
information
about it. Yep.
in an email
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, page 177. We just spoke about the safe harbor. 178. And anybody from the public audience have any questions, please just raise your hand.
Jump up and down.
179. This is DSS grants, we're still under. 180. Okay,
This is Child Advocacy Center.
What's that? I'm sorry.
The Child Advocacy Center.
That's the
Contract line you're talking
Yes,
about,
the
correct?
contract line?
So 2207-1000 is the OVS grant that is managed by the Child Advocacy Center. So you'll see the bottom line is 0 for that as well. That's 100% funded.
Okay. That's good. Page 181. questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
So
casually.
Thank you.
Thank you for the.
You look
Thank
smart.
you.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
Never apologize, we'll give you the info.
Senior resources, thank you.
It's just been done.
Yeah.
I know I have. And I know why. Do you want me to put this back? No, it's fine. Just leave it there. You're out.
Wait,
Yeah. We're coming out this summer. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks for waiting.
Guys, last but not least, we're going to say.
Thanks for waiting.
Thank you.
Getting old while you're waiting.
Got through a lot of emails.
Okay, we're going to start with page 196. 196.
And this will be the last year where we have to play Where's Waldo?
Okay.
Because then the zeros will be gone, so.
Okay.
Here, guys.
Thank you. So page 196, senior services. I don't see anything that stands out. Anyone have any?
Yeah, look,
comments?
is the state cutting a lot of revenue? I'm looking here on page 197, where the total revenue is way down.
We're moving to 197.
197 or 196?
197, total revenue.
What page are you on?
197.
Sorry.
Yeah, it says 2025 actual was, oh, I'm sorry, decimal point messes me up.
Farmer math.
1,000,006, because it's got pennies in it. I withdraw the question.
I was like, oh, it better not be.
It's a penny for you.
Very confusing. Maybe Mr. Carlin will avoid decimal points in future budget.
Get rid of the
just use
penny.
whole numbers.
More sense to my
Right?
Drop that penny.
Okay, so page 197, anyone have any questions? 198.
There's a lot of.
Is there anything that you would like to explain to us in here that we need to know? or
198 has been eliminated.
Yeah.
What's that? What's eliminated?
This,
198.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
funding sources.
6773
Yes.
is no longer used.
No longer, okay.
And-
That's not a budget line anymore.
Correct.
Right.
It's not.
And there's $1,000 that's in error that will be moved.
Yes, I'm gonna come to that. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And then we have page 199, that is senior cost.
Yeah, that's the one we were just talking about. The 6773 is no longer used, and there's three funds that the chargeback copier lease will be moved to the active fund.
Okay.
These are the changes.
I know, let me talk about the changes now, sorry, I just, so, we received this today, and, the changes to the budget are on page 197, we said 199, 202.
Bless you.
Bless you. Page 206, page 208, page 211, and page 197, and they're all for $1,000 each, as you was just discussing. The one was for $1,500, there's one.
Right, they're all the chargeback.
They're all
copier.
chargebacks, and, yes, and they're all for the copier leases. Yes, we were talking about earlier. Okay?
Tony,
Yes.
you just have to make a motion to move it
Oh,
to
I'm
the,
sorry.
to the page 197, the $75.
Okay, I make a motion to move the chargebacks to page 197.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are on Putnam Senior Floor, page 199. Any questions? Okay, that was, and now we're going to page 200. That's 201. Any questions?
I have a question on 200, please, thank
Yes.
you. Just on contracts, there's about a $17,000 increase in line 646, about halfway up, page 200. And one, who?
That's the dietary
Was it
tech.
teachers? No, the dietitian?
That's a dietitian.
The dietitian, that contract line.
Okay,
Correct.
so her her salary went up.
So yeah, so it's $60 an hour at 16 hours a week for 52 weeks.
It's money well spent for our seniors. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I have a question on 447741, the federal aid nutrition has gone down. Is that, it was 238,000 and change, and it's 233.
So she based it on the 2025 actual base allocations for the Title III, C1, and C2, and the actual NSIP.
I have another question,
Yes.
and I'm going from the bottom up as usual. So it's line 301, 54301, kitchen supplies and utensils. Always my thorn in my side. $56,000 on plasticware, and we can't avoid it because we can't use silverware.
Right. We don't have a washing facility.
Would it be less expensive to get a dishwasher?
We talked about this 6 years ago.
I know, and I
Yeah.
remember.
And we had, at the time, the facility that I represent was brand new, and we don't have washing facilities, but whatever.
That's something we can think about.
Sorry.
Right?
I'm getting twitchy.
I
Yeah,
understand.
I get the health concerns. I mean, Director Commissioner Cunningham explained a lot about the, needs for hygiene and the concern for keeping the utensils clean, and they're packaged in plastic, and they are plastic,
Right.
and it's a disaster.
I understand.
A very expensive
Recycling
disaster for polluting where we live.
Plus the forks break very easy.
Yeah, they don't like eating with those either. And I hate eating with plastic. I'd love to see our seniors eating with plates and silverware.
Great.
I take flatware.
I'm not against looking into it, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
At the golf course. At the golf course they do.
Thank you.
We don't care about
It's
that.
always, that's a big number every year.
Oh,
We're not gonna have any part of that soon.
that's true.
Okay, page 201. Questions? 202. And
That's not being used either.
page 203 is unmet needs cost share.
201 is from here.
On the top of page 203. And we have the field home grant. Can you just explain why there's zeros in 2025 on the grant?
Because this is a grant that we applied for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did not get it this round, but we will be reapplying again.
Okay.
Yes, we found out that there were other community resources that were providing the same service,
Okay.
so we joined with them. So
I
it's
remember you
not
here.
Yeah,
That's what we
yeah.
got. That's what you got.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Any other questions on that page from any legislators or anybody in the audience? Page 203 and 204? Yes.
Contracts in the middle of the page, 203, went up 100,000. What is that?
So
Those are for the agencies.
our home health agencies.
Yes.
So their rates are going up every year.
Thank you.
And page 204, personal care services. And 443,690 was your actual in 2025, but I see you're requesting 241. Is that? I don't know why.
Where are we?
We're on 204.
204. Page 204.
It's raised by taxation.
Yeah, raise the taxation. It is.
It's increased.
There's an increase in funding.
Okay.
Wow.
So the contracts went up, but then it was, there was an increase in the ISA funding.
Okay, page 205. Expanded in-home adult day services. Any questions or comments on that page?
Just where they got moved.
Those are all the ones that are going to be moved to 6772, the little $1,000 here and there.
Page 208, 209. Any questions on those pages? Page 210. Page 211.
The gifts and donations are down.
Page 212.
I was kidding.
213. 214.
Can I go back to?
Yeah, sure. What page?
210. This is the wrong line. This is the wrong department probably, but kitchen equipment and appliances. I mean, if we wanted to add a dishwasher, but that's not, it would have to go in the nutrition program.
Mhm.
So just saying, if you want to.
Okay.
We have to hire a dishwasher first.
Yes, that's right.
Which
That's-
I'm not against.
that's-
No, I'm not.
That's easy.
It's an employee and benefits.
That sounds like a good retirement job for me.
Personal.
I'll be your
I like
assistant.
that.
I'll be your
That's how it
assistant.
There'll be a lot of
started.
people that would
I'll be your
take that
assistant.
job. Do you have a question?
That's a hard
Is
job.
that,
I love
that's
that
I've done it.
52670 on page 210. That was zeroed out and now it's at 12,500. Is that's a?
2670.
Yeah, it's at
That was
12,500
something
now?
that was moved. Let me
That was something that was
double check.
moved?
52670.
Yep. It's zeroed out up until this year.
There's $12,500 in
Yeah.
there for.
We don't know, for more kitchen stuff.
Oh, no,
Oh,
hopefully
a
it's
freezer and a
dishwasher.
slicer.
A freezer and a slicer, no
Yes.
dishwasher.
Not a dishwasher.
Okay,
Not yet.
I'll do them by hand.
thank you.
Those nice yellow
Yeah,
gloves.
look at my hands anyway, it doesn't matter.
210, 212,
A
okay.
slicer, really? Okay,
Meat.
yeah.
Jesus.
I know the guy who invented the meat slicer, by the way.
Can you get us a deal?
He
Do you want
developed,
to bring him in for show and tell?
he lived in Cold Spring.
Oh, really? Wow. that's
Well, we could
interesting.
add him to the tourism.
Page 214.
Sorry, we're getting giddy.
Questions now, we're moving on to page 234, recreation for the elderly. Any new programs there you want to talk about? Anything? 234.
So even though the ACL grant is over, we are still continuing our fall prevention classes. So STAIL, Matter Balance, Tai Chi for arthritis, so those will all be continued.
Tai Chi.
That's the wellness grant that ran out? Is that what you're talking, the wellness grant? Right. So
Yeah, the ACL grant, yeah, that's over.
And, I'm sorry, through the chair?
Yes.
Can you reapply or is it just, it's gone?
It's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what will you do now with the programs next year? What would happen?
So we are able to use our 3D funding. We just found out we can utilize that. So we're finding ways.
Good, very good. Okay, so
The
230,
next letter.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. 234, 10 items down contracts. Did we lose the contract or the loss is being absorbed someplace else? 102,500.
The one that went from 102.5.
It's down 24,000 from the prior year.
Yes, that was due to the ACL funding with the grant aid.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions on these pages? No? Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Very much.
Read your work.
Seeing there's no other business, I make a motion.
Should we adjourn?
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It's been